If you've ever had to call the Butterball Turkey Hotline, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, folks. And you can hit it anyway if you've never had to get yourself bailed out of a Thanksgiving emergency. That's okay, too. Welcome back to another episode of Benzinga's Pre-Market Playbook. And today is a very exciting day. It is Thanksgiving Day Eve. We do have a full session here today. And while we are expecting a light volume, that doesn't mean that there won't be things to take care of or things to trade here today. So we're going to be uncovering those. We're going to roll through some of the news. No Tim Melvin today, unfortunately, so we'll have extended chart time as well. We'll get 13 on as soon as he's out of bed and ready to go. We got an exciting day here for the Wednesday version of Pre-Market Playbook for November 26th. 2025 begins right now. Good morning and welcome back, folks. I hope that you all had a wonderful rest of your Tuesday evening. We're back here for Wednesday, November 26th. We are about to roll into Thanksgiving. Great to see a whole bunch of returning faces here today. We got Cam being first. Good morning on this Turkey Eve. Indeed, I cannot wait. This is literally one of my favorite days. Cam beat me to the first here, James. That's okay. You're still here early. Half days don't really count except for eating feta. That's true. But also, especially with some of like the movers that we trade on a regular basis, that could actually be popping on Friday. We'll see how that ends up shaking out. Those Fridays have been fun in the past. No guarantee on future performance. But we'll see how it shakes out. Good to have you here, James. Good morning. Cad Monkey, good morning. Welcome back. Whisk, good morning. Welcome back. Peter, it's good to see you again, as always. Graf, good morning. Big Dave, good morning. Neville, good morning. Yes, that girl, good morning. Gobble, gobble. Indeed, gobble, gobble. It is the day where the entire house smells awesome all day. And we have a couple of adult beverages in the evening here as we go into Thanksgiving. Gobble, gobble, indeed. Laura in Florida, just the turkey emoji. I love it. Gobble, gobble, Laura. Welcome back. Happy Wednesday. Smita, good morning. Welcome back. Producers locked in. Producers like, what the hell are you guys talking about, this Thanksgiving thing? We don't do that over here. That's okay, producer. We love you anyway. Carl, good morning. Welcome back. Reaching Financial Freedom. Good morning. Welcome back. Big Bees, good morning. Welcome back. Big Bees says, ready for this low volume day together and enter the Turkey Day dancing. Let's go. Big Bees, I love the energy. I'm ready too. Let's go ahead and do it. Tom, good morning. Welcome back. I haven't even read when the Chicago Bears rip through the Philadelphia Eagles, there will be nothing stopping them. It will be blue skies ahead, baby. Your lips to God's ears, Tom. I mean, I am excited for that. And how awesome is it that we get to have a half day, the market closes, and then there's a football game. And then there's the game on Saturday between Ohio State and Michigan. And then there's the NFL slate on Sunday. It's like 4 days of football. Have to contain myself. We've got one more day to get through. Dara, good morning. Welcome back. Just passing through. Good morning. Welcome back. Archangel, welcome back. Bounce back. Good morning. Welcome back. Lambo Rolls, good morning. I hope you have an awesome Thanksgiving tomorrow. I absolutely will. There will be nothing that can take me down. Lambo Rolls, I redirect your positive vibes at you and your family. I hope everyone here has a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. We're going to try to get excited going into Thanksgiving by making some money here today. Dirkus, good morning. Welcome back. 914 Land, good morning. Welcome back. Jeff, good morning. It's good to see you again. Jay Harris, good morning. Corey, good morning. Crimpusket, good morning. Blessed Trader, good morning. Sometimes when you say good morning like that, I hear good morning Vietnam. That might subconsciously be where I'm getting it from. I just like saying good morning. I'm a morning person. I have a lot of energy. And like when I'm waiting for the show, you can ask the producer. When I'm like waiting for the show, we're talking about stuff and I'm like counting down the time. So I'll probably have more energy when I say that. But not the end of the world, if that's what you hear. Scarlett, good morning. Welcome back. Kenneth, good morning. Welcome back. Scott, good morning. Welcome back. Marty, it's good to see you again. Peter Lyles, or maybe you're from Hungary, so I'm probably pronouncing your name wrong. I'm sorry, but good morning, welcome, and thank you for joining us. Yasso Fine, good morning. Kayla, good morning. It's good to see you. Matthew, good morning. Who am I missing here? Jim, good morning. Oh my God, Wiss, you're golfing in Myrtle Beach this week. What courses? I loved Myrtle Beach when I went there. pictures. That's awesome, and congratulations. Brandy, good morning. Good to see you again. Jane, good morning. Good to see you again. Cleo is ready. Dude, Cleo is definitely ready. He is talking with a bunch of other digital birds right now, and it's actually really fun and really funny. Just passing through and Lombardo Trades, good morning. Thank you, just passing through. Try to present that outward to lift everybody else up. That is the goal, and that's what we're doing here. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at our stock market today. Futures are green ahead of this morning's open on the day before Thanksgiving. S&P futures up 0.21%, Dow futures up 0.05%, and NASDAQ leading the way higher at 0.38%. Let's go ahead and take a look at some cues from last session. Communication services, healthcare, and consumer discretionary stocks recorded the biggest gains on Tuesday, leading most S&P sectors into positive territory. The three-day winning streak comes amid a holiday-shortened week, as the markets will be closed on Thursday and only open till 1 p.m. Eastern on Friday. Meanwhile, the 10-year Treasury bond yielded 4.01%, and the 2-year bond was at 3.46%. Traders are aggressively pricing in a December rate cut amid a dovish central bank guidance. That CME watch tool is now up to 84%. So it certainly feels like we're getting a rate cut in the December meeting, which is several weeks away. Just be advised, things can change between now and then, but so far looks pretty good. Now, we do have some stocks in focus here today. Some of them are going to be a repeat of yesterday as those companies have reported earnings. And the first one here is Dell, which jumped 4.94% after reporting mixed financial results for the third quarter on Tuesday. It did raise its full year outlook, expecting fiscal 2026 revenue in the range of $111.2 billion to $112.2 billion. That was up from a prior guide of $105 to $109 billion. Also worth noting here, the options implied about a 5.5% move on Dell. We didn't get that. That's been common for some of these technology stocks, although Dell's still holding higher in the pre-market here today. The next stock on our list here is going to be HP. That's ticker HPQ. That tumbled 5.67% despite posting better than expected earnings for the fourth quarter after Tuesday's closing bell. However, the company announced layoffs and issued week forward guidance. And again, the guide has really been the crux of the earnings report. That generally determines the direction of the stock. Lowered guidance here for HP, not a surprise to see that sinking. The next stock on our list here is going to be Autodesk. That's ticker ADSK. That climbed by 7% following third quarter earnings and revenue beat, It also guided for full year revenue of $7.15 billion to $7.17 billion and raised its full year adjusted earnings guidance to a new range of $10.18 to $10.25 per share versus the estimate of $9.95 per share. The next stock on our list here is going to be Zscaler. This is ticker ZS. That dropped 7.15% despite beating analyst estimates on the top and bottom lines and raising its fiscal 2026 adjusted EPS and revenue outlook. Now, the opposite, right? We had a guide raise here and a top and bottom line beat. Zscaler still down by 7% here. Perhaps a bounce play here today, as in the pre-market today, it is a little bit stronger than the after hours where it settled out yesterday. By the way, that after hours low on Zscaler yesterday was $260.10. Today, the stock is $272 in the pre-market, so still 12 points higher than the impulse low from last night. The last stock on our list here is going to be Uber, ticker UBER. That was up 0.73% after it announced the launch of Level 4 fully driverless robotaxi commercial operations in Abu Dhabi, along with WeRide, ticker WRD. That's one stock that we've been trading recently here. That gained 1.52%. All right, let's start with the SPY chart. Let's see where we're at and figure out where we might be going. Y'all already see it. And if you've joined the show before, you know how we feel about our trend lines around these parts. SPY has clearly been bouncing nice and clean off of the 100-day moving average. The Thursday pull candle right down to the 100-day, and then the Friday bullish candle that held us above that level has now turned into a multi-day rally here, albeit on the holiday shortened week. Recently, we've taken out the 50-day, or I should say, we've recaptured the 50-day and the 20-day moving average. And we also moved out of the previous all-time high sideways range that the market spent several days in when it was trying to figure out its next direction. Here we are in the pre-market at 676.66, and we are just shy of the trend line here. If I put my cursor on the trend line, I just drew this by eyeball. I connected the two high points on the chart. I've got a key level here of about 680. Let's call it 680 to 681. That would be some upside resistance here. We'll see if we test that. It's really not that far away from where we're at. If we do pull here today or reverse, our levels are very clearly defined. It's the same levels that we've been trading and looking at for some time here. 673 or 672.99, previous all-time high breakout level. We also have the 20-day moving average at 672.5, and that 50-day has now crept up to 670. So all three of those would be key levels. Although, as Big Abees mentioned earlier, I am expecting kind of light volume here, especially on some of the indices or bigger cap tech names. We'll see if there's any more tax selling or any rotation and repositioning ahead of the calendar turn to 2026. All right, let's take a look at some insights from analysts here. Jeremy Siegel, the celebrated Wharton professor and author of Stocks for the Long Run, delivered a pointed critique of President Trump's trade strategies during a recent appearance on the Icons and Ideas podcast. Siegel argued that requiring businesses to petition the White House for tariff relief undermines free market principles. Quote, I don't particularly like that you have to go to the court of Donald Trump to get exemptions. That's not good capitalism, end quote. He goes on to say, that's not good free markets as far as I'm concerned. While Siegel classifies the tariffs as a net negative for the U.S. economy, he remains optimistic about the broader market. He explained that these protectionist downsides are outweighed by pro-business moves such as deregulation and a retreat from the Biden administration's, quote, crazy antitrust, end quote, stance. Ultimately, Siegel believes the administration's broader agenda creates a favorable environment for investors, quote, the deregulation, the less fervent anti-merger movement that more than offsets the negative of the tariffs, end quote. As far as upcoming economic data, initial jobless claims for the week ending November 22nd and September's delayed durable goods order data will be announced by 8:30 in the morning. No data is scheduled to be released on the Thanksgiving holiday. Thank gosh. You know, why would you do something like that? All right, next stock, or the first stock, I guess, that we're going to take a look at. Let's start with the chart. Let's take a look at NVIDIA. This is the big one. It's on everybody's mind here today, or most of the time here. NVIDIA has really been obeying this trend line. And this trend line originated at November 3rd. So pretty much all of November, NVIDIA has been in a short-term downtrend. And today, we're actually gapping above this. Now, NVIDIA is up 0.2% here today. It's literally up 37. If you round up, it's up 38 cents. So not a huge move here. We are currently sitting above this trend line, but let's see where we close here today. If we close above the trend line, that sets the stage for several moving average recaptures to the upside here, namely the 100 at 181-ish, the 50 at 187-ish, and the 20-day at 190-ish. So there are your upside levels on NVIDIA. It's also worth noting that we have an support trend line that originated at the beginning of September that we recently broke through on that earnings reversal day, which was somewhat nasty. That might also represent resistance on the way back up. That corresponds quite nicely right now with the 20-day moving average. So I'm expecting it anyway. I'm unsure if this is going to provide any more resistance, but really that 190 level would be pretty key for NVIDIA. Not sure we test that today as we're sitting here at 178. Now, some news on this. I want the chat's opinion on this because I can't tell if this is a flex, if this is a troll, if this is someone just trying to be cute in the NVIDIA PR department. Would love to get the opinion from the group here. NVIDIA, the leader in AI hardware, issued a master class in competitive positioning on Tuesday by simultaneously praising rival Google while boldly reaffirming its own technological supremacy. In a social media post, NVIDIA's newsroom said that it is, quote, delighted by Google's success, end quote, and acknowledges the great advances in AI made by Alphabet, while at the same time noting that it remains a key supplier to Google. Quote, "We're delighted by Google's success. They've made great advances in AI, and we continue to supply Google," end quote. However, the tone quickly shifts from partner to pioneer. NVIDIA unequivocally asserts that it is a, quote, "a generation ahead of the industry," end quote. Goes on, I'm sorry, there's a lot of quotes here. I'll stop saying quote. They go on to say, "NVIDIA is a generation ahead of the industry. It's the only platform that runs every AI model and does it everywhere computing is done. NVIDIA offers greater performance, versatility, and fungibility than ASICs, which are designed for specific AI framework or functions." For anyone that wants the actual story here or wants the see the tweet thread or the replies, which are sometimes the best part of these tweets, that is in the link that I just dropped in the chat there for you. The comparison, which pits NVIDIA's flexible GPUs against Google's specialized tensor processing units, or TPUs, classified by NVIDIA as application-specific integrated circuits, or ASICs, takes on new relevance in light of recent reports. Social media giant Meta, currently one of NVIDIA's largest GPU customers, is reportedly in talks to spend billions on Google's TPUs for its data centers. The potential pivot by a major hyperscaler signals a genuine appetite for alternatives. Now, this I think is good because this is going to raise the tide, as competition always does that. Quote, "We are experiencing accelerated demand for both our custom TPUs and NVIDIA's GPUs," end quote. A Google spokesperson said in a statement and continued to say, "We are committed to supporting both, as we have for years." NVIDIA's rebuttal is clear. TPUs may be cheaper for certain narrow tasks, but NVIDIA's platform remains the universal standard and the most flexible tool for the entire spectrum of global AI development and deployment. So, now that we've heard the news, now that you've seen the tweets, now that you have access to that yourself, tell me, was this a troll? Was this a flex? Was it something else? Was it a reminder that, hey, NVIDIA is still king over here. Watch yourself. Let me know what you think, producer. If you think that's worthy of a poll, make it so, as Picard would say. But definitely curious to get your opinions on that. Now, I want to continue with a little bit more NVIDIA news here. It is eyeing its worst month since 2022. Now, that's saying something because, honestly, like if I take a look at this, I'm just measuring it off the screen here. NVIDIA is down 16% from its all-time highs. That's it. 16%, but it is currently enduring its worst month since 2022. Despite reporting one of the most spectacular earnings quarters in history, NVIDIA is on track to end November with its worst monthly performance in over 3 years, raising fresh questions about whether the chipmaker's AI-fueled rally has hit a wall. Through November 25, NVIDIA shares are down 14% month to date, a little bit more now, a negative monthly return unseen since September of 2022. This pullback sharply contrasts with the company's historical trend. November has traditionally been one of NVIDIA's strongest months, averaging a 10.5% return with a 77% win rate. Notably, the stock recorded only 4 double-digit November declines since 1999. NVIDIA has returned over 1,500% in the past 3 years, emerging as the undisputed face of the generative AI revolution. The latest pullback has sparked debate among investors. Is this a correction, or is it the beginning of a broader unwind of the AI trade? Now, I guess I'm somewhere in the middle here. I expect folks to rotate out of big winners in anticipation of new AI stocks that we know are coming. So I'm not ready to buy into the AI trade is over and all of this stuff. Like, that's not where I'm at yet, personally. And frankly, if we continue to see rotation and we continue to see NVIDIA come down in an orderly fashion, I actually think that's great for long-term investors. I see a comment here that says, blame Burry. Oh, that's funny. Burry the Grinch. Am I right? I'm not going to blame him, though. Earlier this month, NVIDIA delivered record-breaking third-quarter results. Revenue soared to $57 billion, comfortably beating Wall Street's expectations of about 54 and change. The company also raised its outlook, reinforcing its dominant position in the AI chip market. But the market didn't celebrate. Instead, NVIDIA shares began to slide initially due to growing concerns that the AI stock may have rallied too far too fast. That's something that our group has been on for some time here. Adding to the pressure, new competitive threats emerged. Reports this week revealed that Alphabet is negotiating to lease its own custom tensor processing units to Meta and other hyperscalers in an effort to capture as much as 10% of NVIDIA's current AI chip revenue by luring large customers away from its dominant GPU ecosystem. We'll see if they can be successful in that. Historically, December has been a slightly positive month for NVIDIA, with an average return of 3.2% and a 62% win rate that goes back to 1999. A closer look at recent years reveals a more troubling pattern. Over the past decade, November has been NVIDIA's worst performing month on average, with a 1.69% decline, 1.69% loss, and only 4 green months in the last 10 years. More strikingly, NVIDIA has finished December in the red 4 of the past 5 years. Looking back at previous instances of sharp November declines also offers little clarity. In 2000, after a 34.8% drop in November, NVIDIA fell another 19.1% in December. In 2007 and 2008, the stock rebounded 6.86% and 8% respectively after double-digit November losses. But in 2018, another 18.3% decline followed the November slump. Now, the one thing that I want to mention here real quick is that a lot of these data points are long before NVIDIA was viewed as an AI stalwart, let alone the leader, the undisputed or unequivocal leader. So I'm not sure how much we can gain from that, but the data is the data, as they say, and it's definitely something to keep in mind. For any of you that want this nice little chart here that outlines all those different years, let me go ahead and throw that in the chat as well. You can kind of go through that. The bottom line here, NVIDIA's weak November performance, despite strong earnings, highlights how investor sentiment is shifting as valuations and competitive risks come into sharper focus. While December has historically offered mixed results, the coming weeks may provide a clearer view of whether the recent pullback is a pause in a longer trend or a sign of cooling momentum in the AI trade. So I guess the same thing there. I would want to know your folks' opinion on this. Is this just kind of a break in the AI momentum trade? Is something structurally changing here? Is sentiment changing here? Would love to get thoughts on that. My personal view here is, man, AI really just kind of came on by storm. A lot of these stocks did, frankly, move too far too fast. And a regression back to the mean is actually a healthy thing. I know when we get accustomed to stocks going up every day, it's rough to see it go down. But in the long run, that's actually a good thing. So I don't read too much into this. I really don't think that there's some big, scary event on the horizon, at least not one that I can predict. We'll see how it all shakes out there. Okay, this one. I'm happy to read this here today. We might as well look at this story as a nice, hearty pat on the back for Kathy. I often say here that our group is absolutely fantastic, whether it's day trader making a spreadsheet database that the group can use for free and just simply offering to do it, to the constant support and constant trade idea generation from the group here. Kathy has recently been on biotechs being a huge, huge theme here. And when I was seeing this story here this morning, that was really all I can think of, is how great our group actually is. While everyone watching AI reshape chip makers in the tech sector, the most profound transformation may be unfolding where no one is looking, biotech. I would amend the story to say where no one is looking except for Kathy, because she's been on this from the very beginning. Artificial intelligence is quietly powering the biggest rally in biotech stocks since the early 2000s, and it's not hype, it's math. I almost mix that up there. The iShares Biotechnology ETF, or IBB, has risen for 6 straight months, notching its longest winning streak since 2012. I actually didn't know this stat. I know we had talked about biotech being hot. I had no idea it was actually this good. This actually helped put it in perspective for me. I feel like maybe I have not covered some of this enough. Biotech, not necessarily my wheelhouse, but maybe I'll keep another ear to the street on this and see if we can uncover anything that gives us a tradable plan here. But it's not just about consistency. The strength of the move is historic. The sector is up 40% in that stretch, making it the best 6-month rolling return for biotech since September of 2003. Biotech has biotech has been a long underperforming sector that is now finally getting a structural narrative. AI is beginning to solve the cost and efficiency challenges that have plagued pharmaceutical research and development for decades. This is important because we talk a lot about AI being this thing that's going to take jobs and end up being bad for people. And while some of that might be true, there's absolutely a different side to the coin, and this is doing a really good job outlining that. If AI is able to actually help biotech, there's reasons to believe that healthcare costs can go down, treatments can go up, lifespans. There's so much good that you can tie to this. I think we all should want this to be the case going forward, personally. For decades, drug discovery has been defined by brutal timelines, extreme costs, and eye-watering failure rates. The average drugs cost $2.23 billion to develop, take up to 15 years, and has just a 7.9% chance of success in human testing. That's why pharma stocks often trade like utilities, slow, defensive, and rarely exciting. But AI is breaking that mold. Quote, "We are no longer betting on science fiction. We're investing in the industrialization of biology." End quote. That came from Jordi Visser, head of AI Macro Nexus Research at 22V Research in the latest report. According to Visser, we are on the cusp of a foundational shift from labor-driven science to compute-driven discovery. In this model, biology is treated more like information, research and development spending becomes a platform cost, marginal costs drop, and software-like scalability emerges. The result is a pipeline that moves faster, costs less, and becomes more predictable. 3 variables that have historically limited the sector's appeal to growth investors. And indeed, if we get all of this stuff, if we get a pipeline that moves faster, if we're able to better predict that, and if it costs less, and we don't have to worry about the balance sheets or maybe secondary offerings as much, all of this is going to be helpful for what we do here on a regular basis, as well as the companies themselves and hopefully humanity. Quote, "Of all of the industries where AI will benefit mankind and bring efficiency, none will be more impactful than health. This month may be the beginning of investors finally understanding its importance." End quote. That also came from Visser. While investor skepticism around AI persists, particularly among those focused on valuation ratios and past market cycles, Visser sees this as a sign of how early we still are. Quote, "Yet I continue to hear the same chorus from the cheap seats. Investors who spend their days with financial history charts and comparisons, not scientific reality, insist that AI is a bubble." End quote. He challenges those investors to consider the scale of what AI might unlock: longer lifespans, cheaper treatment, higher productivity, and potentially cures once considered unreachable. In his report, he shares a thought experiment. He asks ChatGPT what markets would do if a cure for cancer were discovered and widely available. The response? A 20 to 30% immediate surge in global equities, followed by a decade of 50 to 100% gains as markets reprice life expectancy, healthcare costs, and long-term consumption. Now, that's a very hyperbolic thing. As mentioned here and cited, it came from ChatGPT, so we can't take it as gospel. But doesn't all of that sound pretty good? Doesn't that all sound pretty good? And I'll tell you something else. The point that they're making about expanding or lengthening life expectancy, there's a lot that goes into that. There's a lot of other businesses that are going to be affected buy that. Behind the bold numbers is a thesis grounded in real progress. Companies like Moderna, in silico medicine, and Eli Lilly are already using an AI in ways that reshape how drug development timelines, cost structures, and success rates behave. Visser's takeaway is clear. This isn't research anymore, it's implementation. His conclusion is simple and forward-looking. Quote, the AI capital expenditure phase is over. The implementation phase has begun. So this is definitely something that we should take a look at. One of the stocks that our happy hour group has been discussing recently as far as being a major beneficiary of AI is Grail, the ticker GRAL. This helps identify biomarkers and identify different rare cancers and such. And AI has been a huge, huge help in this, and the stock price has reflected it. So the question here is, how many other things are we going to see? How many other opportunities are we going to have? And I think there's going to be several. Again, one more time, just a big shout out to Kathy for all of that. Real quick here. I'm not sure if you're trolling or not here, but Pianogenesis, this article came from ChatGPT. No, it didn't. It was actually written by a gentleman named Piero Cingari. He's actually one of our best writers. This absolutely did not come from ChatGPT. As mentioned in there, the quote from one of the CEOs, Visser, in there used ChatGPT to make a prediction and used it as an example. This article, without a doubt, is not from ChatGPT, just to be clear. Okay, next here. Senators demand Meta be investigated for billions in profits from Facebook scams. You know, before I dive into the article, let me actually go back to the chart here, because that's how the discussions on Meta all started. The chart has really pulled back from its highs. It actually looks like it found some support near the 500-day, although it is worth noting it did not actually test this. Now it looks like we're bouncing. We've recaptured the 20, which has been good for some of these bounce plays, especially if they're swing long plays. We do have a trend line here. This trend line originated in February of this year. This was a downtrend line that we have used as support that now should be resistance. So we can expect some resistance up here, 661, 662-ish area. We also have the 200-day not far above that at 673.5. And then we have a pretty big gap in here, 677.5, that fills all the way up at about 750. So in between that gap is the 50 and the 100, and those might be some more resistance areas. But one of the things that I'm sure traders are looking at here, we've talked about that quite a bit, is that, hey, maybe the selling is done here. Maybe Meta is bouncing here. The chart gives us some pretty attractive things to go after, but let's figure out the news here. U.S. Senator Richard Blumenthal and U.S. Senator Josh Hawley, that is a Republican and a Democrat, by the way, so a bipartisan meeting here, have called for an investigation and regulatory action against Meta over its alleged profiting from fraudulent advertisers on its platform. Benzinga reached out to Meta. We did not receive an initial response. If we do, I'm sure we will update the story, and I would be more than happy to share it with you. Citing reports from Reuters that revealed internal company documents, the senators alleged Meta earned billions, potentially as much as $16 billion annually, from hosting ads for scams, illegal products, and other high-risk fraudulent schemes. Yikes. In response, Senator Blumenthal and Hawley have formally urged federal regulators, specifically the Federal Trade Commission and the Securities and Exchange Commission, to immediately begin investigations. Meta's central facilitating role in scams against consumers is unprecedented by its own employees' assessment. Meta was involved in 1/3 of all successful scams in the U.S. and was unmatched by other big tech platforms. That came directly from the senators. My God. Their demands include enforcement actions that would force Meta to disgorge all profits earned from the fraudulent advertising, impose steep civil penalties, and hold individual executives personally accountable. So I don't know what's going to end up happening with this. I really don't. And I don't think it's political. It's one of the reasons why I wanted to highlight that this is done in a bipartisan fashion. This, if this is as bad as it sounds, or if some of this stuff happens, this is absolutely a massive net negative for Meta. And without a doubt, it is going to drastically affect its stock price. So these are definitely some things to keep in mind here. I know the chart is bouncing right now and it looks pretty good, but these are serious things, might take some time to play out here. These are things, even for anyone that wants this article, maybe to make some notes. If you trade Meta a lot, here it is. It is in the chat. The potential for this could be extremely negative for this stock. I mean, extremely negative. So definitely something that you want to keep watch for. Let's see how this all shakes out here. The senators alleged Meta made conscious, business-driven choices to enable and profit from this illicit activity, pointing to the continued presence of highly identifiable scam ads, including crypto fraud, illicit gambling, and deepfakes impersonating politicians in Meta's public ad library. The allegations also suggested Meta reduced its safety staff while heavily investing in AI, a move the senators believed exacerbated the problem, making its platform a scourge on consumers, our economy, and national security. So I guess the way that I would kind of sum this up, if you're going to trade Meta, I totally get it, especially given where the chart is at right now. But make sure you have a plan in case things stop working or in case things really turn on a dime, because I think there are some pretty substantial headwinds here. Again, I don't know how it's going to shake out. I'm not making a call. I'm just saying be careful. This is something that is definitely worth paying attention to. Okay, now we're going to talk about one of our favorite analysts here, Dan Ives. Dan Ives has dropped his top 10 tech stocks to own in the AI revolution, and I am going to give you the full list here. Now, I hope this isn't a spoiler. I don't think that there's any stock on here that would really surprise the group. I'll just go out there and say that. I reviewed the list. These are stocks that we talk about all of the time. Wedbush senior analyst Dan Ives has published his top 10 tech stocks list he believes are the best positioned to lead the AI revolution, outlining why each company stands out as artificial intelligence becomes the global economy's defining growth driver. On Tuesday, in a post on X, and I'll go ahead and throw this in the chat as well for anyone that wants to do that. On Tuesday, in a post on X, Ives shared his lineup featuring both the incumbent big tech giants as well as emerging platform players who he sees as being instrumental in unfolding the global AI race. Here it is. First one is Microsoft. At the top of the list is Microsoft, which, according to Ives, is the best positioned hyperscaler for AI enterprise deployments. Earlier in the week, while appearing on a podcast, Ives expressed extreme bullishness and conviction on the stock, calling it one of his large cap table pounders. Palantir is number 2. I've said AI use cases start and end with Karp and Company, suggesting Palantir sits at the center of real-world AI adoption thanks to its expanding software footprint and mission-critical platforms. Ives, who often refers to the company as the Messi of AI, has recently pushed back against critics who have questioned its valuation, saying that they're, quote, dead wrong, end quote, while pointing out that short sellers like Michael Burry have an, quote, over-obsession, end quote, with price to earnings or PE ratios. I'll let you guys take that. Any way that you want. Ives described NVIDIA as having one chip in the world fueling the AI revolution, highlighting its central role in powering the training and deployment of modern AI models. Ahead of the chipmaker's third quarter earnings last week, Ives described the moment as Super Bowl, not just for tech, but for the broader market as a whole, which is the sign of how central the company has become to the AI race, and increasingly to the direction of the U.S. economy. No follow-up there on what he thought about the sell-off that occurred after that. AMD is the fourth stock on the list here. According to Ives, AMD is all set to gain market share in the AI arms race, while adding that it currently trades at a compelling valuation. Commenting on the company's $100 billion deal with OpenAI last month, Ives said, quote, I think this is actually just the start for AMD before the next stage of the AI revolution takes hold, end quote. Tesla comes in at 5th on the list, having been bullish on Tesla for the past several years. Ives highlighted the company's autonomous and robotic future, having recently projected a market cap of $2 trillion for the company by early 2026 and $3 trillion by the end of 2026. He essentially expects the stock to more than double from its current levels at $420 The article says 419.40, but this is an article about Tesla and Elon, so we're rounding that up to 420. Fight me. The expect the stock to double from more than its current levels of 420 with a market cap of 1.39 trillion. Apple is number 6. This might be the biggest surprise of the list, I suppose. Despite the company's notable absence in the race so far, Ives argued that consumer AI revolution goes through Cupertino, emphasizing Apple's importance in bringing AI into mainstream consumer hardware and software. Ives had previously raised concerns regarding the company's losing ground on AI, noting that the company needs to integrate proprietary AI models in its devices to truly outperform. Meta is number 7 here. It's currently way oversold on CapEx concerns, while noting that the company is early on consumer monetization of AI. Meta is another one of Ives' large cap table pounders. So we just gave you a bear case on Meta. Looks like Dan Ives has a bull case on Meta, and no one's surprised about that. Alongside Microsoft with a price target of $920 per share, which represents an upside of 44.6% from the current price. Alphabet, which has just been on an absolute tear recently. Regarding Google's parent Alphabet, he said AI tailwinds are just starting to play out, while calling the company's Gemini AI model the real deal. I will say I've played around a little bit more with Nano Banana, and as far as AI tools designed to like create things, that one is pretty interesting. You can do some pretty cool stuff with that, whether it be like actually for productivity use or just for fun. It's actually a pretty cool tool. I don't know if that's going to move the needle, but it does look like things are getting better there, especially with Gemini, which really dropped the ball early when that was first released. We won't cover that, but what an embarrassment that was. Ives labeled it one of the best, CrowdStrike is number 9. Ives labeled it as one of the best cybersecurity AI plays in the market. There are several folks in our chat here that say it is the best, highlighting its ability to deal with cyber threats that become more automated and AI-driven going forward. That's going to be very important. CrowdStrike is up 47.5% year-to-date following its steep pullback last year when a software update by the company resulted in what was being described as the largest IT outage in history, leading to lawsuits as well as a congressional hearing where executives expressed their regret. Worth noting that the stock's like 100 points higher from that. Just saying. Palo Alto Networks rounds out the list here. He said Palo Alto Networks, ticker PANW's platformatization strategy coupled with AI makes a compelling 2026 growth formula. Recently, Ives reiterated his outperform rating on the stock with a price target of $225 per share, representing an upside of 20.79% from the current levels. He also recommended buying the stock on any dips and weakness until it reaches that level. So there you go. I don't think anyone's really surprised here that Dan Ives is bullish on tech. That's pretty much his MO. But there is his complete list. He gives reasons for all of that. I'll let you folks discuss and invest amongst yourselves which ones you like there. Now, I knew we weren't going to have Tim Melvin here, so I knew I was going to need a little bit more news. So I came across this news story here on Nucleus, and I was like, we already have a story that's pretty much a hat tip to Kathy. We might as well do one for Lion here. Let's see how this goes. Lost my mouse there. Sorry about that. Nucleus stock climbs. It is an acquisition target. Riemann expected to benefit from the Iron Dome deal. Nucleus, ticker NUKK, aka Lion's Baby, shares climbed on Tuesday after the company said its planned acquisition of Riemann, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, I think I am, stands to gain from a major Iron Dome expansion deal. Nucleus, which acquires and develops high-potential aerospace and defense businesses, announced that Riemann, an Israeli supplier of critical power and subsystem components for the Iron Dome missile system, is expected to benefit significantly from Israel's newly approved expansion of the Iron Dome program. On November 20th, 2025, Israel's Ministry of Defense signed a major deal with Rafael Advanced Defense Systems, one of Riemann's key partners, to speed up the production of Iron Dome interceptors and related equipment. The contract will be funded mostly by the U.S. defense aid packages of $8.7 billion, which sets aside $5.2 billion for Israel's air defense system, which is one of the biggest investments ever made in Iron Dome. Nucleus, through its controlling stake in Star 26 Capital, is moving forward with the acquisition of Riemann, which has established strong partnerships with Rafael and Elbit Systems, other major defense partners. While the new production is now ramping up, Nucleus expects strong demand for Ryman's manufacturing capabilities. Quote, the historic Iron Dome expansion contract validates our strategic decision to pursue the acquisition of Ryman and position Nucleus at the heart of Israel's defense industrial base. That came from Menny Shalom, the CEO of Nucleus. Quote, Ryman is already preparing to expand operations as early as 2026, and we expect the new production plan will have significant impact on both Nucleus and Ryman. Now, we haven't looked at NUKK, Nuke, Nucleus, whatever it's all the same. Here's what the chart looks like. I got to say, the news is one thing, but looking at this chart, we got kind of a nice double bottom down here at like 430. Now we're starting to push off that double bottom, got a little bit of the expanding volume in here. We've recaptured the 20. Looks like we're currently battling with the 100 right now. The 50's next up there at 712. And then ultimately we've got that 200 day at 1031. The other thing that we I don't know if we really mentioned this, but this is kind of on there. This does look not the greatest, but kind of looks like a head and shoulders that may now have played out. So with this double bottom in here, does Nucleus end up rolling higher from here? That's ticker NUKK. We'll see how this does. Quick peek inside here today. You can see yesterday it spiked, sold off, and then closed higher. Today we're drifting a little bit higher. Sure seems to me like this area right in here, 660 to 665-ish. That area represents a resistance point that we are likely going to challenge today. So we'll see. We'll see how things go here on NUKK. All right. We don't have 13 yet. Oh, let's see. He did message me. Okay. He's right. He's going to be on any minute. He just needs, see, 13 likes to go to the washroom before the show starts. So do I, but because I drink so much coffee, man, oh man, sometimes I have to take an extra break, but we'll do that here pretty soon. In the meantime, I think we can do some chart review a little bit. If you want to take a look at some of the charts, I see Eric here mentioned Google is trending down. I'll just take the first chart that I see here. Here's what the Google daily chart looks like. I'll be honest with you on this one. This has been a great stock. I do very well when I trade this stock, which is not always the case with some of these other tech stocks. Man, oh man. This could really use a pullback, though. I do feel like this kind of moved too far, too fast. So a little bit of a pullback here, even like a retest of 300. I don't actually think that would be bad. Give some time for these moving averages to maybe catch up to the price a little bit. Yeah, that would make a lot of sense here. Google's down 0.7% here in the pre-market. This is what it looks like. It was actually higher earlier today. So maybe we do test some of these lower levels. First one here, I'd look at 317.90. This would be the intraday low that got held the day before. I would probably look at all of these levels, mark them all off on the chart. 312.20 would be another one here. And then the other one down here, 295.75. We'll see which direction Google goes here. I'm still bullish on this. A pullback here and a hold around a support level to me would actually make for a pretty good entry trigger. I know it's kind of run too far too fast, or it seems like that. I know several of you are swinging that. Congrats. That's awesome. Really good stuff on Google. Like I said, this has been a really good trade for us recently, and I actually didn't do a good job myself. I should have been swinging this, or at least kept a little piece on for the overnight, because it was so strong in the days that we were scalping it and had so much good news behind it. I guess in hindsight, that was fairly obvious and kind of a mistake, but nonetheless, it's been really good for our group here, and it looks to continue to do that. Hopefully we get a tradable level. Izzy asking about Bull, and I think we should absolutely talk about this. This is a stock that we have talked about quite a bit. I know that there's a pretty big cohort of long-term holders here. I know we've kind of looked at this in comparisons to Hood and all of that. And while I certainly don't think it's a Hood proxy, I think we can ask some real questions of, is the bottom in? Is this a tradable bottom? Couple of things here, starting with the chart. Starting with the daily chart, I should say. Number one, it does kind of look like it had some bottoming action here as it was trading against $8. Looks like it tested it one day, bounced off of that, retested it. Buyers stepped in force. relatively speaking, to the previous several sessions. Buyers stepped in, brought us back above the 8 level, ends up forming a bullish candle here on the daily for the Friday, November 21st session. We've actually had a little bit of carry through. Now, today, we're up 8% and we're gapping above the 20-day. Now, I checked on this earlier. Yeah, I didn't see any fresh news in here. So it just kind of looks to me like trading action here is doing its thing. And that's making me wonder here if bull is finally at a tradable bottom. I know the story trading guys have been on this a lot. They have a very strong long-term view on this. I believe they've got quite a bit of money behind this. I am interested in this, especially after watching what Hood did. I don't think it's going to be the exact same. But now that I'm kind of looking at the chart here and some of the trading action, it's got me wondering if the bottom is actually in. Sure looks like it from the chart so far. I will say that this $8 level stands out to me now, especially given some of the trading action. I understand we didn't have a gigantic volume candle like we did here on October 8th, but the volume was still elevated when it tested this area, and it created some pretty bullish looking things here, in my opinion. Well, now that we've recaptured the 20, I'll say this: if we can close above this 20-day moving average, that would be bueno. I think at minimum for a short-term trade, we're probably looking at an upside swing. I would definitely put the 50-day as a target there. I don't have a 200-day yet because it just hasn't been long enough. But I kind of think that maybe the bottom's in here. Part here says, I've heard many good things about using Webull. Indeed. And in fact, 13 uses Webull. I think a number of folks in our channel use Webull here. It's a broker, so there's always going to be people on both sides. There are people that like it. There are people that don't like it. There are people that like and don't like Thinkorswim, which is one of the most widely used brokers out there and platforms out there. So my big thing here is if the chart has bottomed in here, boy, we got to trade on our hands. We got to trade on our hands. And I mean, even forget a meteoric rise, even returning to some of the previous levels here, like this level here at 16, that's almost a double, or that is a double from the support level that we just talked about. So we'll see if this changes. Alex here saying bull is bull. What is weak remains weak. What is strong remains strong, which is not bull. What's left out of that very oversimplified statement is that things change. And I suspect what our traders are trying to capture here is that change. The quicker you do that, the more accurately you do that, the bigger the gains. Again, the question here is, did this bottom? Did this bottom? So I'm sure we'll be taking a look at bull here today. We'll see how it trades here today. I have no position going into today, but I would absolutely not be against trading this. It does look like 950 was a kind of a resistance area that we peaked above. We'll see if we're able to take that out. I'll also watch option flow on this. We sometimes see that. So we'll have a pretty good breakdown here on bull. Okay. And I think there was another one in here real quick. Oh, you said right after I finished the nuke breakdown, you said that there was news. Did I get that right? Let's see here, Izzy. Yeah, Nucleus. This is today. Nucleus announces pricing of SC2, its corporate-sponsored SPAC, at $10 per unit. I don't think that's a mover here. I think we probably need to look into that a little bit more. I'm not familiar with this, but I don't know that that's necessarily going to really move the stock here today. Okay. It's time. Let's bring on 13 and see how he's doing. 13, happy Wednesday, and perhaps more importantly, happy Thanksgiving Eve. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm ready for tomorrow. I hope everybody else is. If you're ready to get some turkey in your belly, hit that like so we can get down to the movers. We know that Ryan doesn't like getting to the movers unless we get those likes. So make sure we get those out there.
There you go. That's right. Ryan, I'll tell you what, though. Ryan is in such a good mood today. I cannot stress it enough. Thanksgiving is one of my favorite days of the year. I couldn't be happier that we are about to go into it here. So I actually checked the weather report, and the weather report was saying something about snow, maybe. There's no way Ryan could get that lucky, but we'll see. If that's the case, y'all know about it. 13, was there anything that you wanted to cover first here, or should we just dive right into the movers?
Let's dive right in. I know that there was some other news that we can go over later on. It's not no, that's not the movers. So we can do that in a bit. But yeah, let's look at the movers.
Perfect. Let's start here. First one at the top is going to be AMBR. This is Amber International. What's interesting here is that when I first woke up, we actually hadn't taken a second leg up here. Looks pretty good and looks like it's trying to do a third impulse move above the pre-market high here, and it's doing it on volume. So very, very interesting here. Amber International Q3 adjusted EPS of a 3 cent, positive 3 cents, sales of 16.297 million, beat 0.7 million estimate. They also authorized a share repurchase program of up to 50 million over the next 12 months, starting on December 1st. So ticker AMBR here, pretty good news on earnings, popping us higher. We're holding higher here by about 70% here in the pre-market. Quick peek at the short interest on this name. 0.91% of the float shorted with 1.15 days to cover. That is negligible. There is nothing in there that's going to be short squeezy, if you will. On average, stock trades 155,000 shares a day. Today, it's traded just shy of 25 million ahead of the open, and the float on this bad boy is 24 million. So lower, but not what we consider low float. We'll see how this year. What do you think on AMBR 13?
It certainly looks like 3 is in the cards here. That's going to be your 65-day EMA. So I certainly think that we could see this move eventually get up there.
At 301.
Yep. So looks like 3 is going to be a real possibility here. If we manage to get past the $3, there is some resistance up at about 350. This is to around the low of the September 2nd low candle here, and that is now going to be resistance, whereas previously support. So if we do manage to get beyond 3, that's the next resistance area I'd be looking at. And it's a little bit of a sideways resistance that went on for about a little bit more than half a month. So from about 350 to, let's say, maybe as high as $4.85 to $5 could, see a lot of back and forth. You also have another EMA up around 535. That's a 200-day. So that's kind of what I would be expecting here with this. If we do manage to get it above 3, might chop around a little bit on our way up towards 4 or 5.
Market Sniper saying that Webull showed float of 85 million. I just checked to know the float. I get no reading for it. So I guess keep that under your hat. I'm not really terribly surprised. Is there anything? They did announce a stock buyback, but that's not happening until December. See anything on splits or offerings here? I guess the last offering was in July.
Well, we do know that they have 93.6 million shares outstanding. So at least that, overall encompasses that float, our float reading, and any other insider shares that might be owned. I would just, so I don't know which one's the right one, but hey, at least we know it's not more than the outstanding.
Frank says, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Frank. It's great to see you again. Starting to smell good in the kitchen here. Oh, you bet it is. You bet it is. That's almost why this is a 2-day holiday. Really exciting stuff. Okay, good for AMBR. We'll see how that trades here today. We don't have a whole lot on the movers list, quite honest with you. So I'm actually going to pause because I see a request here that I think we probably should take a look at. Oh, there's Kathy. Kathy, were you around? How long have you been here? Were you here to see the article on AI affecting biotech? And I gave you a shout out on that. Let me know if you missed that or not. I hope not. Personally. Let's take a look here at ZS. Scene is saying ZS should be a great bounce play here today. ZS, this was one of the stocks in focus from our list from the news breakdown earlier. And on the surface here, I know how this is going to trade. Yeah, you did see. Okay, good stuff, Kathy. Keep the good stuff coming, by the way. And no, trading is not ending early today. Today is a full session. The early trading is on Friday, or excuse me, the trading day on Black Friday, not today. Today is the full session. Now, Zscaler, really quick here. Zscaler shares are trading higher if they reported financial results. I actually have this in another note sheet here because I wasn't going to cover it. Let me get that up here real quick. EPS of 96 cents beat the 86 cent estimate. Sales of 788 million beat the 773 million estimate. The stock traded down here. Impulse moved down, took us to 260. Now, Yassine is saying that this should be a great bounce play today. And looking at the chart here, if I had to choose, I would agree with them. Kind of looks like we've got a trend here. We're up off of the bottom. I would use this pretty much as your trade here today, or as your levels here today, your guide. This would be a day trade for me. I wouldn't necessarily swing this. I would be looking for this to maybe kind of trade back up towards red green. I don't know if we're going to be strong enough there, but the impulse moved down. We haven't even retested those lows last night or today. So Yassine, I think you're probably onto something here with Zscaler being a potential bounce play. 13, I know this wasn't part of the list or anything that you prepared for, but do you have anything that maybe jumps off the page here, or jumps off the chart?
Well, that rising wedge just drew doesn't look great to me. That's typically a bearish pattern. So we could end up falling out of that. I was just looking at Zscaler because you were bringing it up here, and let's say that there is going to be some more upside. You kind of need you to back out of the 5-minute chart a little bit so you can see.
Sure. What you want me to go to? Maybe a 15?
No,
you just wanted several days worth of data.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. No. Just so stay on the 5 and then just back out. Yeah. There you go. Do you not?
No, and I think it's because I'm having it. Let me try actually refreshing Pro here. I didn't see anything going on, but so, you instructed me to do something that broke it. So pat yourself in the back. That's amazing.
You watching devs? All right. Anyway,
no, it's fine. It was obviously just a hiccup. Here you go, though.
So the thing that concerns me is if you look at the price action over the last few trading days, like we're coming up to those previous support areas that were that are now resistance. We've moved up through one of them and came back in. That was back on the 21st. That was Thursday, I think, whatever the day of the 21st was, and or maybe it was Friday.
Friday.
The thing that's concerning to me is what happens up around 278. You can see that aside from that Friday where we bounced and then regained that level. I'm sorry, we dropped and regained that level. 278 was where the price was hanging out before that, and it was where it was getting support thereafter before we had this big earnings drop. I'm a little concerned about 278 providing resistance that's strong enough that it causes the stock to reverse and go lower. So I think if I was going to be trading this to the upside, I'd be very careful about what happens around 278. I'm not saying that it won't give you the relief trade off the earnings, but I don't know how high this is going to go.
Okay.
I think I'd be concerned about upside here.
Okay, there you go, Yassine. I'm thinking that it could bounce here just because it's made a series of higher lows off of that print, and it really wasn't a bad report. We'll see, though. We'll see how it all shakes out here today. But there you go. Good breakdown, 13, as always, Yassine. Hopefully that helps you. All right, let me keep moving on with some of the movers here. The next one is MNDR, Mobile Health Network. It's back. We've traded this one a whole bunch in the past here. MNDR, I didn't have, let's see, the Singapore-based company submitted a filing on Monday with the Securities and Exchange Commission to increase the at-the-market offering capacity to 2.26 million from 1.25 million. So it looks like they're sizing up on that offering. That's what's going on here. Let me see if we had anything. That's probably the most recent piece of news, right? Yep, nothing fresh other than that. Taking a look here, this is up 31%. Looks like maybe the lows are in down here at $2. We tested that twice yesterday in the regular session, bounced in the after hours. This is definitely one I want to wait and see what the regular market does, because when the New York session was open yesterday, this thing was as weak as it gets, and it was like that all day. And it was only in the extended sessions when we saw any strength. So I think with this one, you can definitely kind of wait this out, be a little bit more patient. Quick peek at the short interest on this name, 8.85% of the float shorted with 2.38 days to cover. That comes on an average 100-day volume of 2.53 million shares. Today it's traded 11 million already. Float here, low float. I've got this at under a million. Let me check here on Know the Float and see if we have any other ones. Yeah, so Yahoo lists this at 14.7 million. Finviz at 3.35. Wall Street Journal doesn't have one. And Dilution Tracker says 4.82. So no matter how you slice this or what source you use for your float information, this definitely classifies as a low float. So 13, what do you think here? MNDR.
Well, we certainly have traded this one before.
Yep.
This is one that does have some revenue, but they're not profitable yet. Does look like they're going to need cash at some point, but I think that you were just talking about how they're trying to raise money, so it looks like that's coming. Aside from that, the chart doesn't look great this morning. It looks like in the after hours we hit one high, and then in the pre-market we got near that high again. That might be, we could look at that as a double top, and then we're getting the resolution of that right now. I don't know that we're done selling necessarily, but let's say that we are. Let's say that this is starting to turn around and we're going to trade back up into the open. It still has a lot of resistance to the upside in the form of EMAs, VWAP, and other resistance levels from that were previously support. One such level that I'm worried about would be 275. You can see that from when we were getting the sell-off on Monday and Tuesday. Monday, we came down to 275 and kind of went sideways in the after hours in the pre-market before we lost 275 and went lower. Now we've come back up in the after hours and we came up in the after hours and in the pre-market back up above that level, but couldn't stay above it. So now that we're beneath it again, I'm pretty concerned about the strength this is going to have to get back above it. It might have the volume out of the open, but throughout the day, I'm not sure. So for me, MNDR, some resistance really might stonewall the upper price action at 275.
Okay. Good stuff there, MNDR. We'll see if we get this. G-Man says MNDR looks like buyers from 2 days ago are trying to get their money back.
Hey, you're in H-Town. Hey, welcome and enjoy the weather, because man, we do not get this kind of weather out here at this time of year usually.
I wonder if Yassine's going to show up at the House of 13 for some fried turkey tomorrow. We'll see. Anyway, safe travels, Yassine. By the way, traveling down there, how was it? Do the airports look back to normal? Was it crazy? Everything jammed? Let us know. I'd be curious on that. Okay, next one on the list here is going to be SciSpark. This is one that we've traded all the time. This is now, I think, moving into ex-girlfriend territory because this pops up on the scanner for a bunch of different reasons. SciSpark shares are trading higher after the company signed a binding term sheet to acquire patents and IP for endoscopic systems and medical cameras. Okay, this thing spiked to 360, bled back a little bit. We're actually beneath the VWAP. We tried to hold above the VWAP, but really couldn't. We haven't really broken down. So there is definitely a possibility that this thing attempts the VWAP again, maybe even goes through it and gives us a trade. We're currently consolidating in an area that we spent an entire session consolidating in back at the beginning of November. If we go to a daily chart here, you can see we've talked and traded this stock a lot in the past, and it loves to pop and drop. It loves to pop big and then come back in. Factor that into your trade here today. This is definitely one of them. If you get gains on this, do not be afraid to book those gains and take them off the table. You might be disappointed if you show up for your half day on Friday and the stock's gapping down by 20% or whatever it ends up being. SciSpark here, quick peek at the short interest on this name, 13.8% of the float shorted with 1 day to cover. That comes on an average 100-day volume of 4.5 million shares. Today we've done 26 plus. Float here, 500,000 according to Pro. Let me take a look here in SPRC. SciSpark. I've got it slightly higher here on Know the Float, but the highest reading here on Dilution Tracker is 3.1 million shares. This definitely very, very low float stock. Oh, yeah. 13, what do you think here, SPRC?
Well, I recall that the last time we traded this one was back in September, and I looked back to see what some of the news headlines were that drove this. Looks like on the 17th and the 25th of September, there were a couple of news headlines that was driving this higher. They were regarding I don't remember what the 17th one was, but the 25th was regarding the company launching a quantum computing enabled 3D protein modeling initiative for drug discovery. And, it sounds great and everything, but when you look at what this company is engaged with, it's kind of all over the place. They're in quantum computing, they're in cannabis, they're in drug discovery.
They seem to go whichever way the wind blows.
Yeah, they do. So sometimes things can get scattered into the wind. And that might be the
Well
case here
done.
today. So now it is setting up pretty nicely to go higher in the regular session once we open. It does have a nice setup with a bull flag here. I think what we would need to see though is this to hold above $3, maybe $2.95. If it loses $2.95, $2.75 is where it can't go any lower, because if it does, then I think this goes right back to start. But if it holds up from these levels, recaptures VWAP, then we might get another situation where this tries to make a run for the 200-day EMA again. It could either fall short or barely reach it and back off. But to your point earlier that you said about how this pops and drops, yeah, it does that a lot. And sometimes it gets all the way up to the 200-day EMA before it starts to reverse. So don't know if that'll happen, but to the upside here, looks like a 3 that we're at is already one level that it's trying to get back above. 325 would be the next one, followed by 365. And then there is seems like there's a shelf of resistance at about $5. So those would be the next upside areas I have. And then we can get into some of the old levels that I have from the last time we were trading this.
Okay. Good stuff there. Real quick, I'm going to break this up here. Cam has a Thanksgiving tip. If you open your cranberry sauce cans today, it'll save you 3 minutes tomorrow. Not sure how I feel about that one. EKS, great one here. Secrets for Thanksgiving gravy, fresh herbs, turkey drippings, and ground pepper salt. Half and half or milk. Let simmer as you cut the turkey. I am here for all of your Thanksgiving tips. That's absolutely fantastic. Okay, moving on here. 13 next is PW. This is Power REIT, and this spiked up to 130, came back in, lost the VWAP. It's holding $1 here as well as holding that 65 EMA. So we'll see if that can continue here today. Let me take a look at the news pane. Got nothing fresh on this one. Short, in fact, no news since October. Short interest read here, 2.68% of the float shorted with 1 day to cover. What do you got on this one, 13?
I haven't looked at this one. What is this about? Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know anything about it. So I mean, let's figure this out together. Looks like it's got very low float, so that'll be easier to push around. What's the price action looking like this morning? So we are getting some support from the 65 EMA. We've already got that twice, but until we start moving away from that EMA, we might still hit this again and maybe even fall through it. I need to see once we've tested an EMA, we need to move away from it because if we keep hammering some of these levels, eventually they'll give way and fall through. We don't want that here with this one because if that happens, then we're going to go underneath the dollar. So I think that's the big thing here with me for PW. This is a REIT, so this I don't know what's causing this to move. I don't see any recent news. Maybe it's if there's anything that's causing this or any other REIT to move, it's going to be any bullish talk from the Fed possibly cutting rates in December. That would be my thought on this. Other than that, I don't know what's really driving Power REIT.
Okay, sorry, was handling something off the screen there. Appreciate you.
Okay.
Next on the list here is Woof. So let's get the jokes ready because we're going to be making them today. It's not already covered, Kathy. We're going to do it right now. Petco health and wellness shares are trading higher after the company reported better than expected Q3 EPS results. Evercore ISI raised the price target on the stock from 3 to 4. Here it is. Looks like it is trading up towards 370. We're above the VWAP. Nice little chart here on the back of a good quality catalyst here. Quick peek at the short interest, 20.02% of the float shorted with 8.52 days to cover. High on both counts. We do have a potential squeezer here if this gets rolling. Stock has traded 2 million shares here today versus its 100-day average of 3.13. Float is 91.2 million. 13. What do you got here on Wolf? Woof. What do you got?
Well, this some pretty good short interest. So this this is a short squeeze candidate. 20% of the float shorted, 8.5 days to cover. Their financials. Let me go to a quarterly basis here. So it looks like their last quarter they were profitable, which is good. They seem to have plenty of money. This doesn't look like they're going to need to raise capital to survive at all. They seem to be doing pretty well here. for the time being. So I wouldn't worry about them raising capital. If we look at the chart though, this is trading up into what I think could be considered an ascending triangle. That would put the now depending on where you want to draw the top of the top line here, you could do it at 370, or you could even do it at 373 or wherever the two highest wicks are. But I think this is we're trading up into an ascending triangle. Would need to see the volume continue to expand. Don't want to see a loss of VWAP, even though we could stand to print just beneath it. But as long as we continue with this upward trajectory that we're in and eventually break over 375, I think this is going to be probably a better one to trade. I think that high short interest is really working in its favor. There's a big seller no way at 365. So once we clear that guy out or girl, then I think we might be able to get towards our resolution of this ascending triangle here. This does look pretty good here. I'm just a little concerned about the volume, but it looks like it's got the right pattern. It just needs the right amount of volume.
Okay. Good stuff there on Wolf. We'll see if the dogs are barking here today. Jay saying, look at the past moves. They tend to give back the moves. So very much like Spark, figure that in. If you get something here today, great. But don't think that this is going to the moon, as they like to say. All right, next on the list here, AEHL. This is another one that we have traded a few times before. This is Antelope Holdings here. Let me get that comment there. Let's take a look and see if we had any news. I didn't have anything when we were looking at this earlier. Here we go. Oh, this is from yesterday. Nope, this is from yesterday here. So no fresh news on this. Quick peek at the short interest on this name. 8.51% of the float shorted with 1 day to cover. A 100-day average on volume is 3.28 million shares. Today it's done 14.34. Float on this is 2.5. What do you think on AEHL? You think we get some more moves from this one?
So if you can look, okay, perfect. There you go. So you see how we had that high from yesterday during the regular session?
And the pre-market. Oh, I guess that was the after hours. I beg your pardon. But it's right in that same area, right around 350.
Yeah, it's pretty close. So it's interesting that the high from yesterday is now acting as support for the pre-market here, following this impulse move that took us up through that 360 level. Because if you look at this candle here at about 8:20 this morning, we came right down to that very same spot where the high was for yesterday's high. So I think that 360 area is going to be support for the time being. If we start, I think if we start losing 360, that'll be a signal that this is starting to weaken and the trade might be over. But right now we're still moving away, trying to move away from 360, running into some resistance at this VWAP here. It's got a nice setup too, like another bull flag, but still getting a lot of resistance from the VWAP. So I think the big hurdle right now is to just get over VWAP. Mine currently is at 388. That's I don't know if that's the same as you have, but it seems like because we can't get over this VWAP, we're not able to recapture 4 yet. As a matter of fact, we don't think we've really had a close over 4 so far in the pre-market here, even though I think we did print right at.
Yep, I think you're
right at it. So $4, I think that's the spot to get over once we clear VWAP.
Okay. Good stuff there, AEHL. It's also worth noting here, CYPH. This has been a recent mover for us. This popping here. Actually, this is happening in the last few minutes here. This stock, though, keep in mind, when we were trading this last time, it was much higher than it is here. It's done a lot of bleeding back. Maybe the sellers are exhausted here. We'll see. It is popping a little bit. I don't know, 13, if you have any levels on this. 220 looks like one that I'm just kind of eyeballing here. Obviously, the round numbers may come into play, but this thing's really kind of been beaten down from its recent move. Lower. We'll see if it pops here today. Getting a little bit of action. Volume's not all that impressive, though.
Yeah, the 178 level, that looks like that was a bit of a support area in the pre-market yesterday before we started losing it. So we came right up to that level in today's pre-market.
Yep.
And it seems like there's a bit of sideways consolidation from not yesterday's close, but the day before, going into the after hours and into the pre-market of yesterday. So that whole sideways action there is going to create a bit of a range that the price has to get through. And it looks like you get out of that range pretty close to 190. I'd say more like around 188. So from 178 to 188, there should be some I'd say resistance that might cause the price to go sideways, unless volume really steps up. it could shoot right through it. But I think that there's some sellers right there in the way between that and that 10-cent range that are trying to get out of this.
Okay. All right, that's pretty much it here for the list. We had another chatter that was asking for LTRN. I didn't see any news on this. This is Lantern Pharma, but the things that go into the biotech, pharma, all that space, fairly interesting. This has actually had a pretty good move from 3 recently, and I'm pretty sure, if I recall correctly, because I think we looked at this some point, I think that this is near its 200 day. Let's go to the bigger chart and check it out together here.
This is another company that is using AI to solve drug or discover drugs
and that was a theme that not only have we been talking about in Happy Hour, but I had another news story here this morning about how AI is sparking biotech's biggest rally since 2004-13. So I felt like this might play into it. Gosh. So I didn't realize it was this on to the 200. Well, look at this. This thing's right at it.
Yeah, and it's trying to get over it so it can tickle the 50 there too, which it seems to do, and then get rejected. But I guess when it comes to this, biotech and AI, I understand that the drug discovery probably cuts out a lot of money being spent on research. But I'd be curious if there's actually a report out there or some concrete data that shows what AI is, what cost saving measures AI is providing some of these biotechs. Because as you know, as we trade these, they lose lots of money all the time. So if AI can prevent them from losing money, where is that loss mitigated at? Like at what stage of the process of developing a drug from inception all the way to bring it to market, going through all the clinical trials, where is AI saving the most money is where I'd be interested.
Okay. There we go. All right. What else do you want to do? We got 9 minutes here. We ran through everything.
Well, what's your expectation for today?
My expectation today is slightly green. I think that we are going to be low volume. I think we probably will have some individual issues that may kind of be like a fun trade or might kind of be a little bit wild. But overall, I expect today to kind of be a low volume day. And I do expect us to finish higher a little bit.
I'm a little concerned about there being some selling today, as some traders aren't going to be holding positions through the weekend, through the holiday. I think that we talked about this yesterday about how we're going to likely see some unwinding positions going into the long weekend, because there are traders that are selling today and they're not going to come back on Friday. And by the time they do come back, it's December, and you have monthly inflows in December, and probably going to have even lower volume on Friday. I would think that there could be some selling today that maybe pulls the market down a little bit, but we'll see. Because like I was saying earlier this week, it's in a liquid market this week, and we could get some big moves in either direction. Maybe we do push a lot higher and just completely take out 680 and start looking for those new all-time highs after we break the downtrend. That could certainly happen with how much liquidity there is. But I just have this concern that we're not going to see a lot of people sticking around in their positions through the rest of the month.
Okay. All right. So a little bit of concern.
A little concern, yeah.
Look, from 13, I'm all gas, no brakes here today. I am all about happiness from start to finish here at 13. So I don't know. Perhaps that's clouding my judgment here today. We'll have to see how this all ends up shaking out. Okay. Is there anything else that y'all folks want to cover here? Yassine's throwing out every ticker he can think of. So let's go ahead and just roll through those here real quick. We got about 7 minutes left. Here's the Dell ticker. Here's what Dell looks like. Oh, and you know what? We did have some poll results here. That NVIDIA poll. So NVIDIA had a rebuttal to the whole Google Meta thing. I asked, was their rebuttal on social media a flex because they are worried? So 37% of you said it was a flex. 34% of you said it because they're worried. 29% of you said not sure. So those poll results are in. There you go. All right, here's a look at Dell. Dell's actually up 5.57% here in the pre-market. They're higher after the company issued strong guidance. We've actually bounced off of the 200-day and the 500-day. We did peak beneath that and actually test that 500-day. We've got a conglomeration of moving averages above this, 136.5 through 143.5. We've got the 100, the 20, and the 50. Sure. Excuse me, it sure looks like Dell is going to attack some of those targets here. And then the other thing here is I was just seeing on CNBC earlier, there was an analyst, I think there was another reaffirmed rating here with a $200 price target on that. Let me see if I can find that. I don't see the one for 200. Mizuho raises the price target, goes to 175. Bank of America maintains buy, raises target to 163. Price target raise also at, Barclays lowered. They went from 151 to 148. I did see that somebody else said that the earnings were way better than expected. And they reiterate their $200 target. So Dell, common theme here. This is viewed as higher. That earnings report wasn't bad. Stock is higher here in the pre-market and looks like it's going to trade back up here. So that's what I got on Dell. You got anything else? You got any crazy chart stuff here on Dell?
Well, I'm looking at a smaller time frame chart on Dell, and
what time frame are you looking at?
A 5 minute, and it looks like and I have like a couple of weeks that I'm looking at here with this, and it seems like 134 is a bit of a resistance area. We went up there on the earnings print. And we actually visited that area multiple times in the after hours, but got rejected every time. Here we are back up above it. So I'm wondering if we're going to finally see a breakout of this. Now, if you look further to the left here, like from a couple of weeks ago on the 14th, we had a lot of price action in this very area that might provide some resistance. And wouldn't you know it, we started to really drop off at 134. So I'm a little concerned that, well, I guess concern is not the right word. Maybe I'd be cautious about what happens at 134. I think we could see a breakout, but I don't know how high we're going to go. If this does go on a bit of a run, I think that maybe somewhere in the 136 handle, we find some resistance that prevents it from going a whole lot higher. That's one of the earliest resistance levels I have beyond 134. It's 136 and change, like around 136. 30, 136.40. So,
okay, we'll see if we break 134 here. That's set up for us to do that.
Yep. And we're also going to mention that BE is moving, Bloom Energy again, up 5.5%. Certainly is looking like it's moving up. This has resistance at about 103. If you look at a small time frame and kind of back it out, you can see that the price that we're coming up to where it was previously support, it's about 103. And then on the 20th, last week, we kind of consolidated there midday and lost the level. So I think 103 is going to be a big resistance area for Bloom Energy if we get up there.
Okay. Here's what the daily chart looks like on Bloom Energy. Are you bullish on where this chart is, or would you still like this lower, you think?
Oh, geez. That still looks like it could come in some more. Let me take a look at this.
Yeah, I would say so too.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be bullish on this while this is still, struggling to recapture the 50-day SMA. It does look like it's getting some support around the $90 handle, like we've printed beneath it, but haven't closed underneath that really. So I would say that if we can't recapture the 50-day SMA, that we could go on to lose 90.
Okay. We'll see what happens here on Bloom Energy. We are less than 2 minutes until we open. Let me flip over to the main workspace, get this ready here. Is there anything that you want me to put on the screen here? I'm going to use the washroom before we open here. AMBR up near highs.
Yeah. Oh, hey, there we go. AMBR. So we can take a look at that one while you step away. Okay, so let's see what we were talking about with AMBR here. So this one was, I'm trying to think of where it was that we were talking about this going here. I think we were looking at the 50-day SMA. I'm not sure if that's right. Anyway, this one still climbing higher. We did get a print of 289 before we got some matching candles on the way down. we're still getting support from this 265 area. So as long as that holds up, we still should be able to get up to the 3 handle. We're down here testing that very level again. As we look at the MACD, it's looking like the momentum is starting to swing in the other direction. So we'll see what ends up happening here. But 265, that's the next support area. Or that is the support area that we need to hold if we're going to see higher prints. The support beneath that is going to be your VWAP. I currently have that at 248. Might be different on your platform. And then the other support levels that I see on the way down, if this is its fate, is going to be about 235 and 220 before we run into the 65 EMA down at $2. And yeah, Dell's still way below its 50-day SMA. I think that was well. I mean, one of the things that it still has to do is recapture the 20. So that still has to happen.
All right, good timing. We're open. Here we go.
All right, out of the gate here, what looks good? What looks good? What looks good? CYPH trying to get going here. It looks like big seller in a way at 167. We'll see if volume can chew through all that. And AMBR, that's looking like that's trying to push up. We were just talking about how 265 was support. Looks like it's trying to get going here. And what else is moving? MNDR has taken out some of those EMAs and VWAP and resistance levels that we were talking about. It's in this area of consolidation from the pre-market, though, between 265 and 275. Let's see if we can get through there. Go ahead.
Real quick, AMBR. I'm a Thinkorswim user here. I cannot buy it electronically. I must call the desk.
Oh,
unsure if anyone else is getting that, but Thinkorswim user here can't buy AMBR.
So they can tell you not to buy it? Is that why they want you to call?
Well, no, they literally say this security is not eligible for an electronic trade.
Gotcha. And it looks like it is going to start losing that 265. MACD was starting to show it rolling over. So those support areas that I mentioned, that's what's coming next. Looks like VWAP is going to be one of the earlier ones.
NUAI, nice little move out of the gate here.
SPRC, trying not to lose the 295 level. Power losing 65 EMA. Wolf, this fell through VWAP. AEHL also down. CYPH, on the other hand, this is popping. Went as high as 180.
Okay, NUAI that traded up out of the gate. Bull pulled a little bit here, but so far it held 920. We'll see if that firms up.
Looking like some selling here. Ooh, yep. And there's Zscaler doing what I thought it might.
Rolling back over, so it's not bouncing.
Nope. Went right through the your wedge.
Yep. God, what is going on?
Everybody's already on vacation, including the platform.
No. I typed in the right ticker and pressed enter, and it said it didn't find the ticker. You guys can't trade AMBR on E-Trade either. Okay, and yeah, my Thinkorswim account is connected to a Schwab account. So, okay.
That might not be great for AMBR as a trade.
No, it might not be. And SPRC is going a little bit here. Actually coming up to VWAP. I've got VWAP 316 on SPRC.
Yeah, this one looks like it's trying to turn up here. MACD is trying to swing in the other direction, so this one might be better. Let's see if we can clear VWAP. I have that at 316. You know what? Another 316. We need that Steve Austin glass break.
Yeah, and we need we need a little bit of the song after it too, because that's one of the things that makes it. Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. So
what I've got on our list here, CoreWeave. I see Lion is mentioning this. CoreWeave, this is up out of the gate here. What's the next level here on CoreWeave? Maybe 80. Maybe not. Yeah, maybe 80, 77 and a half in there. Google. Go ahead.
PW trying, getting some more support from the 65 EMA. It's trying to turn around, but it's needs to see some better volume here. AMBR might be flipping around here too. Let's see if that can get going as well.
Hood, this is up out of the gate above the pre-market high. Google, that spike out of the high being sold into, it's might be flirting with its VWAP a little bit here. AMZE is the penny stock. Neo is popping out of the gate. Did Neo have any news? Let me check.
The one?
Not the one. Spelled a little bit differently. Neo downgraded here by McGuire to neutral. Price target of 530.
Looks like we did get some selling out of the gate. That's getting bought up. The one a mover from
market's
yesterday,
trying to go higher.
A mover from yesterday, SYM, Symbotic. That's still climbing up to 850 this morning. So that was, or I'm sorry, 8050 this morning. I think we were kind of praising this one yesterday, and it still continues to do pretty well. I don't know how much more is left in the tank with this one, but nice move out of the gate with that one. Rigetti sinking, so RGTZ rising.
Michelle saying, so why exactly is it that stocks get halted? Too much of a move too quickly. They basically just wait for it to kind of catch back up, if you will.
AMBR trying to take out the pre-market high of 289. It saw some selling out of the gate. Now it's getting a lift here. Big seller in the way at 280. I shouldn't say big seller, but there is a seller in the way that's preventing it from going much of anywhere right now. NBIS looks good. Says Lion.
Cam asking if Benzinga shows you how the different sectors are doing. Yes, we actually have a workspace for that. If you go to Market Overwatch here and you launch the sector overview, it utilizes the different. I know that these icons are small right now. There's actually a ticket to fix that in the next release, but you can still mouse over these. It utilizes the heat map to draw you a plot, and when you mouse over these will give you stats, so you can easily tell what's up, what's down, and how the different sector rotation is. Again, I know the labeling is kind of bugged out right now, but that's getting fixed. That's actually slated to be fixed in the next release here. So yes, there's absolutely a tool that does that.
So RGTZ, I've got a line here at 2350. I just put it out there to see what if this would be meaningful, because it looked like it was a resistance and support area in past days. And today we just ran up to it and got rejected. So 2350 is going to be some kind of a level. I'm not sure how to, what I'm going to do with this level quite yet, but it seems like
2350.
Yeah, it seems like it's
okay.
It's a support and resistance area. I don't know how strong, but it seems like so far it's done pretty well. Now, if we get a reversal here and RGTZ goes lower, like much lower, then I think it's a much stronger resistance support level. But if we only hang out here for a little bit and then break through it, then it's probably just a brief intraday
got it
resistance and support area.
Looks like it went right to the 65 EMA and came back in, so that's definitely one we can watch.
MNDR now sinking. There's a seller that's walking it down. Zscaler new low of 262.13. Might be getting some support down here. We'll see.
SPRC, 13. This is a good mention. This is above the VWAP.
Oh, nice. Yes. So that one is still looking like it's turning up here. 335 still seems to be a bit of a resistance area. I mean, you can tell from the price action earlier this morning that 335 is where the resistance is. Maybe it's 340. I'm not sure, but right in that area, that's where the resistance is. And I can see that there's a big seller in the way at 335. So that might be it. We take out that seller, we could see a breakout here with the SPRC.
Okay, we'll watch that one for sure. Market pulling off of that initial move higher here. Yikes. Tech really kind of pulling. S&P pulling. Dow's still holding up near the highs, but some of these other names are moving. SOXL, I guess we'll check in on this one, see how this is doing. Okay, so this came back in. So these don't actually look all that bad. Coles, how about that move in Coles yesterday? How about that move in Coles yesterday? A little bit of continuation here today after 44+% yesterday.
It took almost the entire day, but it did manage to get over 22 before the end of the day. And now 22 is a support level.
There we go. And it's testing 23 here today.
Just all you got to do is just draw a line right there with that 22. You'll see how it was a breakout, and we got the support, and now it's been support all through pre-market and the after hours. And if it comes back in, that's going to be one of your early support areas that isn't a indicator like an EMA or VWAP.
Okay, good stuff there on Coles. I hit that twice yesterday. That was actually the better trade. Is he mentioning Netflix here? Let's take a look.
Yep, I saw that too.
Hey, Netflix. Okay, so this is actually so that market pull there. It is bouncing here. Netflix. This is ripping right out of the gate.
I think 110 is a resistance area. Don't know that we'll see that today. This still doesn't look like it's going to recover quite yet, and I'm really concerned about the looming death cross that this is about to have. Might happen next week unless the price is higher next week. I think we're going to get that death cross pretty soon.
Okay. That's we were talking about maybe some lower areas there. Jay here saying Google the Kathy Hex. She bought 180,000 yesterday. Google here lower in the pre-market. Looks like it tried to go and got rejected there 324. So I'd be watching for what, a 320? Yeah, 320 rollover here probably sends this thing lower. Google's trying to hold in though.
If not the that candle yesterday, that hanging man candle, that indicates a market reversal. I would think this comes back in based on that candle we got yesterday. And I want this to go higher, but this has been a very, very extended move here that's had. So it needs to come back in. What was this?
Is he saying Stranger Things tonight on Netflix?
Yes, that's right. That's right.
I'll watch it. So, but I'm happy for all of you.
I mean, if it weren't for my son, I probably wouldn't watch it.
Yeah,
but he loves that show. We watched all the seasons together, so we have the Stranger Things pizza, so we're gonna cook that up and watch it tonight.
What is a Stranger Things pizza?
So there's this pizza brand in the show, and they, I don't know who the actual, the food company is, but they made a pizza with the marketing, the packaging on it from the show.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, hey, you're having a piece of Stranger Things.
Yeah, I got it. That's cool. That's cool. BQ here. This would pop into a halt.
Oh wow, BQ. Okay.
It's back, popping into a halt.
What's this?
Yeah, let me see if there was any news on this real quick.
Or it's getting pushed around here. I don't see news.
Nope, me either.
But they have filed for a mixed shelf of up to 230. So be careful. Don't get caught in this.
Jay Rice mentioning Hood. This thing straight up out of the gate. How's Webull doing? We took a look at that initially. How's Webull doing now? Okay, this is not bouncing here yet. We'll see on Webull though. Yeah, I know. Izzy, I know what it is. I just don't watch it myself. I'm not the most hip person when it comes to some of the TV grinding.
All right, SPRC trying to come back up above VWAP here. See if it has the volume to do so. Big seller on the way at 320. PW, your power.
Power REIT.
I'm sorry, power REIT. Yep. 115, large seller in the way, and that's just above VWAP, at least what I have for VWAP. I have VWAP at 110. So if we, as soon as we clear VWAP, we're going to have to deal with this seller in the way. This really big seller.
That's at 111. My VWAP anyway.
Wolf trying to turn around. KSS might be gearing up to go higher here if it can recapture VWAP. And make another push up over 23. I think this puts in a new session high.
Where's the top in KSS? That's what I want to know.
Well, let's see. Let's see if we can figure that out. Because I know that we're not at the all-time highs.
No, definitely not.
But we are in a area of consolidation back from 2023. So that high could be somewhere in the 25 handle, maybe closer to 26.
Yeah, I was going to say, just kind of looking at this range here, 28 looks to even be the top end of that range.
All right. Oops, need to switch back here. All right, so AMBR, that MACD was indicating that this could roll over, and sure enough, there it goes, losing VWAP right now. MNDR had a nice move earlier, and now it's doing it again, running into some of the resistance from the pre-market. Zscaler still not able to get back above VWAP. This might continue lower. Just might.
MNDR right at the VWAP. That was a good mention here. So what else do we have here? Apple reversed. Izzy, Amazon pulled here a little bit. I know you already scalped at one time. You think that's good to buy for a move back above 230? Amazon?
Jay's FLNC from yesterday is still making a return here. It has gone nowhere but up. We opened at it looks like around 1750, somewhere around there, and we are now at almost 19. The high from yesterday was 1923, and it looks like it wants to visit it again.
Is he saying no on Amazon? So Amazon not looking like a scalp candidate here. And I reiterate my call that I gave out yesterday. Has anyone come across any great Black Friday deals on Amazon yet? I haven't seen anything, although I haven't looked all that hard. I had peeked at it a little bit. Probably do a little bit more today.
Where do I see the big sellers? So depending on what broker you're using, they have different features that will let you see where some of these sellers and buyers are. It also shows you the volume. It's called a price ladder. In some platforms, it's called a matrix. In others, I think Ryan, yours says it's called an active day trader.
Active trader, correct.
Active trader. So your platform should be able to provide that feature to you, and you also have to have a subscription to level 2 data.
That comes with a lot of brokers. Like, for example, on Thinkorswim, you just kind of get that. I know other brokers, I guess, have that a la carte. I'm not sure exactly which is which, but 13's right. It's the level 2 is basically where we're getting that. We're looking at the tape effectively.
I need to see SPRC with a big expansion of volume here to take out the seller at 320. Otherwise, I think it comes back in.
Okay, let me bring that up here. SPRC.
It's been trying to get above VWAP all regular session. We lost it in the pre-market. Been trying to hammer it. We did print above it, but haven't closed above it. So, and there's that seller at 320. There's another one. There's a series of them above 320, around 327 to 330. But we're going to need to see some bigger volume to get through those sellers.
Yeah,
capture VWAP.
I'm with you on this 100%. I'm with you on this one 100%. This one, we even talked about that at the outset, to be careful with this one, as it loves to pull. Yep. It absolutely loves it.
And there's that move from KSS.
And there's that move for Google. Whoa, what was that? What on earth was that? Here's the move in Google that we were kind of waiting for. All right.
Yep.
Peeled some there. I'm going to not make the same mistake in case this continues to run. I'm going to keep a little part of it, stop at break even on Google, but otherwise some of that's booked. So that is a green trade now. That's why I screwed it up. I was trying to click too many things.
Yeah, so KSS coming up to an area where there's a seller at 2350. I don't know that we're going to get through that or not. It just depends on how, if the volume can continue. Tenzin is also mentioning that Apple should reverse here. So if you're trading Apple, keep an eye on that.
I'll tell you what, Tenzin's been pretty spot on with some of his Apple calls recently. That's something to pay attention to. Let me actually take a look at Apple real quick.
He pays attention to it. So, if you're looking to trade Apple, I'd pay attention to him.
Yeah, I definitely am keen on those that have like a feel for a stock. Tenzin, I feel like what you do is you trade Apple probably more than anything else. So looks like your reversal call was down here in 277 handle. It looks like we're bouncing so far.
And what's great about it is, when you trade a stock frequently and you really know how this trades, that gives you a big edge. And if you're only trading like one stock all the time, then you know this stock really well. Absolutely. So always pay attention to the folks that are constantly trading the same thing. They know these stocks pretty well. All right, so it looks like AMBR is still trying to make a push for 280. Hasn't been able to see a close above that yet, despite printing above it. Nice reversal. off of the 250 area though, but still need this some follow through volume. Amazon is your stock, is he? Yep. And that's why, and so, just like Tenzin, you are constantly on Amazon and you are great at trading it. So if you want to get some levels or some information from on trading Amazon, ask Izzy. He knows. All right, so it looks like we did get that a little bit of a flush there with SPRC. That took us down to the 65 or near the 65 EMA, trying to recapture the 295 area where it was getting support earlier. So we'll see if that ends up happening. Lots of sellers at 305 and 314. So we're going to just see some pretty big volume to get through those levels again. AEHL, this thing really fell out of bed. Lost the 65 EMA in the process. Is getting some support from the 200 EMA on the 5-minute and that area in the after hours where there was some sideways consolidation. So hopefully that'll reverse there being in that demand zone. But volume's not looking great in AEHL. Coles with a 2354 high now. And PD Key, Tesla is your daily. There you go. Avago, Broadcom. What's that doing besides making me happy? Oh, look at this. So we're now getting price targets over 400. Well, we have been, but man, oh man. What a great opportunity that was earlier this week to pick up some of these names. What else we have here? Still looking for some more highs in Coles. This thing continues to squeeze. It's great.
Sorry about that, 13. Water's here early.
Whoa, that were you talking right down into your mic?
Yeah, it was probably a little volume. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I think
Tenzin, I'm coming back to the Apple chart and I'm seeing it literally at the highs on a 278 break. Tenzin, looks like you're scalping Apple. Good stuff there. Registering for you. Cheers.
And if you look at Wolf, this is getting some support from the 330 area where it was previously resistance in the after hours yesterday. We broke through it in pre-market and have been using it as support ever since. I would be really concerned if we lost this support here. It might indicate that this is at least done for the morning. I don't know. Maybe it comes back later in the day. But if we lose 330, that's a major support area that we'd be losing. And then you'd have to be looking at the 200 EMA for a hopeful reversal. New highs in Coles.
KTTA halted at 104. Webcoin all over this one. KTTA, we've traded that one before. AMBR.
Yep.
Can't trade it, but it's at the highs.
It looked like it was starting to bubble a little bit and try to take out the 280. Remember that's the area where we have no closes above. We just have prints above 280. So we start closing above 280. I think that leads to more upside.
Bitcoin actually was trading up here into the open. It's pulling a little bit now. And also quick check-in on the VIX, 1782. We have been talking about on Happy Hour how the VIX has really started to bounce from an 18 handle, 17, 18. And in fact, yesterday, one of the gentlemen that watches the VIX said, yeah, we might trade down into a 17 handle and bounce from there. Well, so far, that's what we're doing here on the VIX. Low print, 1766.
Symbotic, new session high, 83 now. Some of these names from yesterday are not looking too bad.
CETY, this was one from yesterday, wasn't it?
Yes.
This is curling back up here. Those intraday highs yesterday are right up around 3, although we did have some wicks created above 272.
Zscaler continuing to fall. I mean, we just lost the after hours low print of I think this was around 260.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, 260.
So this then, so really quickly, because I said that I agreed with Yasin and I think that this can bounce. Seeing the action here invalidates that. You were totally right on this. To me, I'd wait for this to firm up. I wouldn't even try to catch the knife.
Yeah, that rising wedge I think was dead giveaway. You ever see that video?
No, which one?
The dead giveaway video.
No, but that sounds like something you should link. Yeah, I was going to say that sounds like something you should link me. By the way, real quickly here, there's a majority sold off here on Google on the last pop, but this is actually looking pretty good here. Looks like we're putting a series of higher lows after that pre-market pullback. I don't know if I'm going to attribute this move to Kathy, Jay, but in any case, Google here looking like maybe another move through 323. This tries to go higher.
I hate to throw cold water on this. I'm not sure.
It's fine. Most of my trade is booked. My entry on there was at 320 and change, and I have a stop right above there at 321 break even. I'm not gonna. It's no big deal.
I'll say this: if Google can recapture 324, then I'd say that we're back in business. If it gets rejected at 324, then we're probably gonna see some lower lows than yesterday.
I remember, this thing has moved pretty. PD Kate here saying I'm skeptical of Google. I think that's probably a healthy skepticism. This is a stock that has moved pretty quick, pretty fast. If this pulls back here, I don't even think that's bad. I think overall that's healthy. So I think that means a lot. That's understandable. Let's put it that way. Costco is bouncing here today. Costco reclaiming 900 as we speak. Giddy up.
Speaking of giddy up, Rigetti. Actually, not Rigetti, the RGTZ. This thing is great once again. Coming up to a bit of a consolidation area from yesterday, so going to be booking a little bit of gains here. But man, Rigetti continues to be great.
It always is
for shorting.
So it looked like it came up to that spot right there, about 26.75, backed off of it. RGTZ, obviously, that's higher here. That's up by almost 4%, up about 40 cents.
Barat asking why 324.
Oh, for Google, that was just one of the intraday levels there.
Okay, so basically all I've got right now is just a little bit of RGTZ.
And I'm sorry, Barat. I that was incorrect. It was 323. Here's the graphical representation of what I'm talking about right in here. And I'm thinking if we can pop this, especially if we have another higher low here, if we can pop it was 323, not 324. So good catch there. Sorry about that. But if we can pop this, maybe we can actually end up trading back up. 326 is where it looks like it really started to sell off. Yeah.
I think I was the one that said 324 on this. I think that was what he's asking about.
Okay, sorry. What I was talking about for the purpose of the short-term day trade that I intend on pulling off here today is a break above this.
Okay. Yeah, and I think what I was just mentioning was if we can't recapture 324, then this could go lower.
Okay. And that's very well possible. Now, was that 324 from something else, 13? Maybe it probably was. No, there was probably a previous level in there.
Well, it's an area of support and resistance. I'm looking at a 5-minute chart and just kind of looking backwards over the past couple of trading days, and it's clearly looking like to me this was an area that has both provided support and resistance. Mm-hmm. It was resistance on Monday, and then it was support on Tuesday, yesterday, and now today we lost that level of support, and we're coming back up to test it. On a day like this, I'm not sure it's going to get it.
Here is the 324 line. You can actually see it when looking back at Tuesday's chart. So there you go, Brat.
And SPRC, great mention, guys. I was waiting to see if this was going to do anything. And it looks like, we did get another, I think we've got a regular session high here. Still not above the pre-market high. But this is one that needs to get above. I think the level I was mentioning was like 330 or 35, something like that. Because that's where the resistance has been from closing. Every time it's at print 35, we have not been able to close above it in the pre-market or the regular session. But the momentum side, so if we
did anyone else lose 13, or is this just me? Looked like he was a little bit robotic. There he goes. Yeah, I think this is his connection. He's back there though. Let me see. Let me try adding him back here real quick.
I don't know what happened. Nothing.
Yeah, there you go. It was just an internet hiccup. You started to go a little robot on us, and then you just dropped real quick. But you're back. You're good. It's just a little snafu there. He was breaking up. Okay, so it wasn't any. Okay, you're good. You're good.
Weird. I didn't experience anything over on my end. But
Yeah,
whatever.
that's internet stuff there. Graph is
AI
saying,
confirmed.
Graph, thanks for the tip. You don't need to tip for this, but we appreciate you. Somehow lost my chart on TradingView. My indicators are there, but no price action. Anyone know what to do? You could try two things. Right-click the chart element and select reset chart view. Maybe something got out of whack there. Ultimately, I would just try refreshing your page. And I'm assuming that you're referring to TradingView, not the TradingView element within Pro. That's what I would say there. Hopefully you get that fixed.
Oh, man.
PD Kate thinks you need to move away from your fiber connection to Starlink.
Maybe.
I mean, I no offense, but I don't think you need that. Your connection is going to be a lot faster than Starlink. Starlink's cool. It's great for individual applications, but I think where 13 lives is probably better off with the 1,000 megabit connection.
My father-in-law has Starlink. He likes to travel and use it, so and he just rants and raves about it. And he's like, yeah, and if I don't need to use it, I just go on the standby plan. I only pay like a small amount of money. Well, and I still have my equipment. When I'm ready to use it, I switch back and I'm good to go. And I was like, that's great, actually. That's great to be able
actually pretty good
to just have a standby plan. That's great.
Oh yeah, it's real smart. That's real smart. It was a joke, Ryan. Come on. Yeah, there was nothing there saying that was a joke. There was no giveaway for that. You come on. It's Thanksgiving. Come on. SPRC right at that VWAP. We'll see if it pushes away. It's only wicked above, so we definitely want to see it close above this level.
All right.
And Lulu, whoever was asking about Lulu, that's ripping here out of the gate. We talked about Lulu here with Anne Marie. I think she had, it was like a condor, right? She's kind of waiting for this. Selling some premium at the front. Lulu here, 183.
I might be done for the day.
That early, huh?
I just finished taking my RGTZ off the table. It might go higher, but there's this consolidation from yesterday I'm a little concerned about. So I'm just gonna take it off the table and be done. It was a pretty good gain, so I think I'm good. But we'll see. There's a lot more that we could still trade here, but I don't know. The market's still continuing to pull. Z-scaler is getting hammered. It's still going down. Let's see here.
I'll tell you what. You know what? Now that I'm thinking about this, you know what we might do? 13. That wedge, that ascending wedge that we were talking about earlier. You know what we might do for a trading plan on these post earnings trades? Look at the break of this. That was absolutely a short entry trigger on that. And maybe I think what we'll do is if we see this formation again, kind of set up for this trade, see if we get follow through like we did here today. Because this would have been a great trade to the downside. This is 10 points.
Very, very standout technicals right there.
Yeah.
And it worked beautifully.
Okay. Might have to incorporate this into some post earnings pre-market action.
God,
as an example.
This thing go. It's just
Z-scaled like a fish, says Joe. Yeah, another joke.
More like D-scaled, right?
But
all right, let's see. Let me just get an idea of where support is for this thing, because eventually this will find it. But let me see if I can sniff it out. Oh my God, this thing is ugly.
I'm going to roll through some other stocks here. Dell pulled back a little bit. We'll see if that's curling.
Okay.
What do you got?
This might be interesting. So there's a gap that it's filling from May, the 29th to 30th. There's a gap, and we're coming down to actually we're getting really close to filling that gap. I think that gap, if we're going to use the high, that means it'll fill at 255.16. If we use the close, it's 251.11. So basically between, let's say, 250 and 255, we might see Z-scaler get some support. And we're almost in that range. So just something to consider there if you're trying to take a trade in Z-scaler. There might be some a relief bounce coming.
Okay. That was a good pickup there. That's right at the end of May there, that gap fill. Shady, we put that poll out yesterday. The winner was baked. Fried was actually a very close second, though. And smoked wasn't on the list, unfortunately. We should have done that.
Yeah. Can Z-scaler continue to lower after that gap fill? Sure. But I think if you're looking to trade this, and we've been getting a pretty good sell-off here, that might be where you could trade a bounce. So that's about, and I think that's about the greatest you're going to possibly get out of this, because it still looks like it could go lower.
Bull is turning up. The story trading folks rejoice.
Oh, recapture that 10, because this was brought here via SPAC, I believe, right?
Yeah.
So 10 is going to be a big resistance area.
I'll tell you what, this just intraday here, recapturing the VWAP. See if it moves through what, 945? 960, the high there?
Yeah, Jay, you're absolutely right about that. The cyber names haven't been great. Worth the house fire risk? What are we talking about?
Fried turkeys are worth the house fire risk, I think is what he's saying there.
Well, all you got to do is, not deep fry them inside the house. That's problem solved for me.
Where's the fun in that? I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I know I shouldn't.
It's even more fun to just be outside. I mean, when the weather's nicer, not like it's feeling like the end of summer, but when it's like, got that cool, brisk, refreshing air, and you're sitting out there with a beer and, in my occasion, a cigar, and just waiting for that big old fucker to fry. It's absolutely wonderful time. I can't wait to be doing it tomorrow.
What time do you start?
Well, depending on the size of the turkey, it's going to take anywhere from 3.5 to 4 minutes a pound. And I typically get 20-pound turkeys. I like to do that. So it's always going to be longer than an hour for me.
Okay.
But you have to heat the oil up, and so it's usually typically about a 2-hour process from start to finish.
Kathy, you were looking at QNCX. I typed in the wrong ticker. Sorry about that. QNCX, this is actually spiking right here to the highs. Do we have news on this?
Jay, thank you for mentioning that. So Bull did trade over 10 in the pre-market. He says. Let me see if I can. I don't see that it did. Are you seeing that it did? Because Bull, it looks like it only got up to as high as 960.
I have 1009 as the high print. Okay. But let me see what time that was. So that time that I have here, 2:03 a.m. And that would be Central Time, so 3:03 a.m. Eastern Time, which means that was part of the overnight trade.
Okay, that's probably why I'm not seeing it on this chart here.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but in any event, it seems like it got rejected around the 10 area. I think that was the only point I was trying to make, because I wanted to see the price action there, but you just said it was the overnight trade. So, all right, here we are down with Zscaler into that range that I was saying. So between 250, 255, I'm thinking that there might be some kind of a brief relief bounce here.
Shady, did you happen to see the pics on X of Peter on the trading floor? So maybe not the ones that you're referencing, but I've seen a number of stuff come across on FinTwit about Peter on the floor. I actually referenced an interview I saw him do with a young man where he was basically encouraging young folks to pay more attention to investing instead of consuming things, which I really like to see. I'm not surprised. He's absolutely a hustler. Actually, sorry, we're going to miss him this week. They'll be back next week, though. We also have a segment coming up with Tasty Trade next week, also from a stock trading floor. A little sneak peek there. Give you a little bit more about that next week.
Symbiotic new highs, and it's one of the only one that's making new highs. Lots of stuff kind of going sideways.
That's why, and this was a good call yesterday too.
Yeah, it was a nice one, and it's an interesting company too, and they've got big name customers, so Symbiotic might end up being something really, really great later on, because we're still going to need warehouses, we're still going to need automation in warehouses.
Yep. Dell, this is moving back up. This is actually contrasting Google, which was stopped out of as that rolled over here, but still that was played well on a move back towards 323. Could not get above your 324, by the way, 13. Just mentioning that. And now it's rolling over a little bit there. KTTA, this popped above dollar territory. Did we take another move higher? Oh, we did. Good stuff there on KTTA. OSS halted here. What was this? This volume pop. Did we have news on this? Let me see. No, the news was from November 18th. So nothing fresh there, OSS, but that's popped into an upside halt.
What? Okay, so this might be interesting here because this is in the space of I want to say interconnectivity. This is a tech company that's going to be part of the AI trade, I believe. That is a part of the AI trade. Let me just look and see what they do because they manufacture high performance compute storage system. So I would need to look into exactly what this does, but just on the surface, it looks like this is going to be one of the a player in the AI trade. Hardware systems, because man, I know I've talked about the price of memory before, but I was just speaking to some other people that game and build computers, and they were really complaining about the prices, and they started to get into data centers, and it's interesting because they're talking about what we've been discussing here on this show and with everybody here for weeks, if not months. So it's really interesting to finally see that make its way to some of the other markets.
I had a coworker tell me yesterday he's looking for a graphics card on a Black Friday deal and asked me what card I have. I took a quick peek at RTX 3080s, which is the card I had. That was brand new, I think, in 2021. Like, if I'm getting that day right, they're still $1,000.
Yep.
I paid $1,000 from the store.
Yeah, it's you're kind of in a lucky time right now with the graphics cards not being ridiculously overpriced. They're still very, very high, higher than I would probably pay for one right now. But they haven't exploded exponentially like DDR5 and NAND memory has. That's the real big thing right now.
Yeah, and I think that's what's bottlenecking people here. Aran from the chat here says, I wanted to buy a new motherboard, but after seeing 500 pounds for DDR5 64 gig, I'm not doing it. I wonder how many other people are doing exactly what Aran is saying here, because 13, that video that you had sent me there on DRAM, I mean, that is cool. RAM used to be one of those things where that would be a parts throw, right? Your computer's not working really well. You think, well, I'll just put new RAM in it. Maybe my RAM chip is fried or slowed down or something like that. It was so cheap, it was easy to do that. $60, and a lot of the times you could replace RAM with what you had, or even get better RAM. That's not the case anymore. I think that is probably stopping builders from building new systems. I'm just glad, knock on wood, that my system is still strong and does everything I demand of it, including Tarkov after its release here. I actually get better frames post-release, which is awesome.
And I feel lucky myself after having, because I built this system a couple of years ago, and I was keeping an eye on prices, but now I can't imagine trying to build one right now and trying to save money doing it. It's tough right now for PC builders.
Jay is saying, I'll tell you what, one thing with no inflation are flat screen TVs. Yeah. I bought a 65-inch for less than half the price I paid 10 years ago. Now, that's true. The one thing I will say about TVs is you really have to dig into the specs, because the size isn't it. Right? The processor that's in there, the actual image quality that you get, the 4K resolution, how bright is the 4K broadcast if you end up going that route. There's a lot that kind of plays into that. And the real nice TVs, they're still kind of expensive. But overall, Jay, you're absolutely right. Those TVs have come down in price quite a bit.
Blessed trader, it's tariffs have almost absolutely nothing to do with the high prices of compute, like graphics cards and RAM. Joe Schmo is actually nailing it. All of these data centers gobbling up the RAM and driving up the prices. Yep. It is 100%.
Here, 13, I'm going to share the video you shared with me because they do such a good job covering it. And if anyone's actually interested in this 20 or 30-minute video is well worth your time. Let me just share that with the group here.
It is 100% explosive demand. That's what it is.
Here's a video that outlines all of it.
Yep.
Thrown in the chat.
Hopefully you're not put by his wacky hair, but he is a pretty smart guy, and he does some great research, him and his team.
I'll say that first of all, it's not just him. It's actually the team that does the research, and I concur, 13. They do really good research. They also, one of the things that they do that not everybody does, when they're wrong, they correct themselves, and they are not shy about it. And to me, there's a lot of trust that's built there. The other thing is, and this is kind of a minor thing, but something I appreciate, they're funny. They make the videos entertaining. So when you're talking about something that's 30 minutes long and it's about something like this, maybe it's not your wheelhouse, they do a really good job of keeping you engaged so that you actually soak up that information. Underrated, in my opinion.
Yep.
Lion, happy Thanksgiving, buddy. Have a good one. Hopefully your restaurant has a great Thanksgiving day and all your customers are happy.
I was just looking at something before we. Oh yeah, Kohl's new session high, looking for $24 now. Continues to squeeze, as does Symbotic. That is now looking for $85. 84.87 is the current high. These short squeezes, man. SETI might be gearing up to push higher over 268. Needs that volume component, but it's got a nice setup. What's so funny?
Comment here from Omerica. Wacky hair. His hair isn't purple or green, so I can deal with it.
Yeah.
Here is SETI, by the way. That's CETY, not SETI, which I've made that mistake a number of times. Urban Outfitters here. This actually reported earnings. This is interesting. So this sold off a little bit. Looks like profit taking. Might want to keep this on radar here. Maybe a move through 78 sends this above 80, which was where your after hours highs were. Impulse move was about 83.
Consumer discretionary was doing pretty good yesterday. It looks like it's not doing too bad again today.
Yep.
Another mention here for RGTZ. This came into VWAP, got support, and it's trying to resolve a bit of a bull flag here. We'll see if it can get up to 25. Nice move so far with this one. So had a big move through the 2350 resistance area I was outlining. Almost back tested that, got support from VWAP. If this goes higher, that'd be fantastic. But trade it if you feel like it. And guess what? Zscaler is getting support right in that area.
You just love to see it.
You just love to see it.
You just love when the charts tell you what to do. Makes it a lot easier.
So this might be the brief support that I was mentioning. I don't know how high it's going to go from here. I would think that if there is any reversal happening, maybe 258. It could possibly even back test VWAP, but I don't think that this is going to start going long. There might be some more downside ahead. Like I said, I think this is going to be a brief bounce that we're going to get here out of Zscaler before we see lower prints.
Big Dave, take care of yourself. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family. Appreciate all of your awesome support.
All right. He made money and he's tapping out. Well done, Big Dave. I'll see you later.
Hey. Yeah, I say this to people that do this with stocks, and I say this to people that go to the casino. If you walk out with the money that you made, good on you. No shame in that. And we got a big holiday coming up. Prepare. Enjoy that time off. That's what it's for. We're not getting any younger. And if any of you have figured out that one, you email me. We have some private conversations.
Okay. Well, fantastic stuff there, Zscaler.
Oscar, this coming back up towards the highs. CoreWeave puts getting bought, but those are small. SYM, 90 calls getting bought here, 13. These are the December 90 calls. They're sweeping up 400 of those, spending $250,000 on that trade. SYM, 90 calls for December.
We got jobless data earlier, and
oh, that's right. We had some of that delayed data. Someone probably asked about that, and I skipped over it. Initial jobless claims 216 versus the 226 estimate. Continuing claims 1960 versus 1953. Prior was revised from 1974.
And how does
initial jobless claims revises prior from 220 to 222. Sorry, 13, get in there.
And how does that make you feel about a December rate cut? Because I think the big thing has been, we need to cut because the job market's under pressure. But with fewer jobless claims than expected, what does that do for you?
Yeah, but I'm wondering, this is the delayed data, though. So I'm wondering if they had other more updated data where they were deriving that from. Let me check on that here. 1 sec, 13.
While you do that, I'll mention some other things here. Wolf recaptured VWAP. This is trying to get back up to the session open.
No, I'm sorry, 13. I take that back. Initial jobless claims data for the week ending November 22nd.
Okay.
So that is fairly recent. So you're right. That to me then says less chance. Let's see what the CME Watch Tool did. And I'm sorry if I ran you over if you were doing something else. I'm just so excited.
I was just mentioning about Wolf recapturing VWAP, and then I was also going to go on to say that KSS Kohl's is still squeezing higher, 24.33 now.
Okay, here's your CME watch tool. When I checked this morning, it was like 84.9. It's currently at 83.1. So we dropped 1.8% on the back of that print. 13.
So it didn't move the needle a whole bunch.
Nope. So I know Tenzin's freaking out here because that's less chance of a rate cut, but the Fed watch tool is telling you that that is almost an insignificant movement.
Am I holding? Cam is asking me if I'm holding or eyeing any real estate positions. So let me see if I can refine that for you, because yes, I have some REITs, and yes, I have some I have stocks specifically tied to the real estate market. UWMC is the stock that I owned for a while because I like their dividend, and they're on the mortgage side. So that's the way I'm playing that. And as far as REITs go, I've got. I'd have to go and look in my portfolio because I know it. I think I have some American Tower. I'd have to go and look and see exactly what I have, but I do have some REITs. I'm not too heavy in them right now, but I do own UWMC. I like that one. And yeah, Joseph Schmo is mentioning Art Rocket. That's another one. I've traded that one. I don't own it, but I do think that's another good one to own if you're bullish on the real estate market.
This was a great trade of 2025. I played this via options based off of the thesis generated from Happy Hour from our real estate expert who does great work. She's absolutely fantastic. We traded this pretty much all year here. I had calls into March. I'm all out those calls. I sold every tranche of those calls were sold at 100% or higher. This was an absolute banger of a trade. I'm all out, but I still like this long term. There's another AI angle here on Rocket. Rocket also still has some pretty high short interest. Another one here, we don't often talk about this, but I've been adding to this recently. This is my favorite dividend play of all time. This is Starwood Properties Trust. This is STWD. This is Barry Sternlicht's property REIT. These guys, this is probably one of the safest things I know of to buy. This is something that I got from Tim Melvin when I was first talking to him years ago. I've been adding to this. I add to this all of the time. I've been adding under 19 here. My last add here was at like 1760. And here we go. This is trading back up to, I think this thing pays about 10% on the dividend. Quarterly dividend here. Last payout, 9.3%. So
happy Thanksgiving, Yassine.
Take care of yourself, Yassine. Happy Thanksgiving. I will say, if you randomly show up at 13's house, I expect a picture. It'd be funny if it's Yassine with a selfie and 13 all kind of surprised and standing on his front porch with a shotgun because he has no idea what's going on. That would be something else.
A shotgun and a turkey leg, right?
That's Thanksgiving for you, folks.
In Texas. Wolf still climbing higher, coming up to some resistance. The sideways consolidation from this morning, so might run into a little bit of selling here. Zscaler still kind of going sideways. Like I said, it's going to be a brief bounce here. I don't know how high it's going to go. We were looking at maybe 258, but still I still think Zscaler ultimately goes lower. What else is looking good here? MNDR is trying to recapture VWAP right now.
SPRC, this is actually starting to build above its VWAP. I know that we've got wicks above here, but this is a good sign. Now, this thing's definitely not a stranger to pulling, so be careful with it. But nice to see this test move above the VWAP. Now we're trying to build above the VWAP. We'll see if that ends up taking the next leg higher. Izzy says, go Packers and Lions fan, booting Izzy from the channel. Happy Thanksgiving, Izzy. We'll see you.
I'll bring you back. Don't worry.
I'm kidding. I would not do that over sports. That's silly. Joe here is saying, thanks, you guys. I'm holding some Rocket 2026 Leaps at 16. I owe you boys a Christmas gift. You owe us nothing other than your positive vibes. But if you do go for the Christmas gift route, remember that
you owe us a like.
Ego wireless blower is the one that I want.
Yeah, you owe us a like, and that's all.
There you go. I'll take that.
So we were being asked about EOSE. This is
okay. One of the turn ones, around at all?
Well, it's turn around from where I would actually say. This is one I've recently put on my battery watch list. This is it's interesting. It makes zinc-based battery storage solutions. So one of the things we've been on is not just batteries for like drones, EVs, and mobile contraptions, but stationary ones as well. Been looking at vanadium. This one is vanadium-based storage solutions. This is a zinc-based one. I think batteries are going to be a pretty good theme next year. This has some pretty high short interest as well. So if anything that we're seeing here on no news for EOSE, it's probably going to be some squeezing action. But they did have some news earlier this week about them completing a direct stock and warrant offering for $600 million. So that was a big capital raise there. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot to add to that, but this is probably going to be one you want to keep an eye on. I just don't know about. I had to dig deeper into their financials. It doesn't look great on the surface, so I would have to spend some time doing that.
A chart looks like it's a pretty good 65 EMA hold here on the daily, but shout out to you for looking under the hood. Don't worry, Michelle. Christmas is coming. Come hell or high water, I'll have that. You won't have to endure it for very much longer. Yeah, you guys are awesome. Guys and gals, all awesome.
WOOF is bouncing. Let's see what that bounce looks like. Well, okay, so it did come up to that resistance area where the sideways price action was in the pre-market. So that's going to be from about 355 to 365, 370. So might see some rejection here. If we can get some good volume, we can push through it. But if we don't, then I think it goes lower.
Abercrombie, ticker ANF. This more continuation here. Pop out of the open, a pullback, more new highs here. Abercrombie still in trend to the upside. Looking pretty strong here. Kimmy, Ryan, are you back on Friday with the program? Yes. So despite the half day on Friday, 13 and I will be back. I don't expect a lot to be going on. I don't expect a lot of folks to be here either. It's a holiday, Black Friday. But yes, the show will go on despite the half day in the market. And I talked to Mark Petrino last week. He said he'd be available for Friday morning. And Anne Marie earlier this week also confirmed that if we're here, she's going to be here. So we should have programming as regularly scheduled on Friday.
So analysts still hate FLNC, huh? Well, that's fine. They can hate it all they want. It's not going to stop the price action.
No, it sure isn't. And I think Jay's right here. Abercrombie not worried. 100 coming probably by Xmas. I would imagine that that's the case, Jay. NVIDIA holding higher here by 1%.
Well, that's not some bad. Hey, there we go. Zscaler. There's a better bounce move that I was alluding to. This is more along the lines of what I was thinking might happen. But I still think this is going to come back in lower. Don't know how high the bounce is going to go. I said 258, maybe up to VWAP. If that happens and you trade it, great. But I don't know that this is going to necessarily recover today. Okay, what else is looking good?
I don't really see anything new. Hood maybe on a move to the highs, but I think you're really kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel there. KTTA, this is resumed,
and we're not going to be
trading halt.
We're not going to be scraping any bottom bottoms ahead of Thanksgiving. Okay, no. We're not going to be doing any of that.
No,
don't do that to yourself.
Let's be a good human, gifting a bunch of memberships to Zinger Nation. Let's go.
Oh, wow. Fantastic.
Look at that. I love it. I absolutely love it. We got more folks in Zinger Nation now.
Well, he's living up to that name. Thank you for being a good human.
Happy Thanksgiving, people. Let's go. Let's be a good human. Good job on being a great human. Well done. Appreciate all of you.
Oh, I got you, Jay. Yeah, it's sometimes those analysts when they get really negative on some of these stocks, man, that they just rip, don't they? Analysts are great.
The thing about analysts, they like if you think about like the language, they never really they like their business. They're like
The art
never
of
admit
tiptoeing.
that they're wrong.
The art of tiptoeing.
The art of tiptoeing, like a stock that reports earnings does better or worse than analysts expected. It's never this is what the company did and the analyst was off. It's always the company was better or worse than the it's like come on.
Did not meet expectations.
Flip flopping is the game. Jay, I think we all prefer humans over bots. No question, especially in here.
I know when I'm calling customer service, I do. I mean, are you one of those people? I know I am. Are you one of those people that has yelled representative into the phone?
Oh God, I might be the actual worst 13. Especially working in customer service, like I know how the game is played. I know how it all goes. Not only have I yelled representative and agent into the phone a whole bunch, I have started off a phone call apologizing to the person that I'm talking to, being like, listen, I know this isn't your fault, and I know that you didn't do this to me, but I am so angry right now for XYZ and this, and I've like
that you're gonna feel it.
I've started because I feel bad. I've been on the other side of that.
And Operator. It's like Operator, says Cam. Yep.
I've totally done that. See, we're in good company.
Yeah. If there's ever a case for getting rid of AI, I think that would be it. That's fucking hilarious, guys. Oh man, I'm having a great time here today.
Rivian, this at the highs. Michelle says, me too. I say that as well. It's like, look, I don't like being angry. It doesn't it makes me feel bad. Mm-hmm. I don't like being angry for whatever's happening to me, and I don't like being angry at other people. I would so much rather just be happy and cheery and all of that. But sometimes you just got to get stuff done.
Yeah.
And it seems that the squeaky wheel gets some grease. So if you got to be angry, you got to be angry. The human, I'm always trying to think about there's a human being. If it's a robot, I'll yell whatever. I'll curse like a sailor. But if there's a human on the other end of that, everyone's going through their own thing. And it's never been, I've never come across a time where the representative on the other end of the phone has been at fault.
I'm just scanning around, seeing what's making moves here, and this market is looking a little tired.
I think that low volume thing kind of started a bit early here. KSS, maybe this is above 24. More continuation here on KSS. But 13, I might join you and just kind of be done scalping here. At least I hit Google earlier out of the gate.
Yeah, and that's probably going to be one of the better moves, unless you just you have nothing else to do and you're just going to be looking and trading all day anyway. But this might be a day where you thank the market for what it gave you, and you go and have a great holiday. Let's not force any trades and kind of make our way through. You don't want to be sitting at the Thanksgiving dinner table and everybody's talking about what they're doing with their life, and you don't want to have to explain how you just lost however much money you.
I just wouldn't explain that. I would use the good, tried and tested method that Nick Cage's character in the movie Snake Eyes covers. Tell them what you did right and leave out the rest. That's what you do at Thanksgiving. By the way, app getting mentioned here by Let's Be a Good Human. This continuing to bounce as well. 586. This was actually a pretty nice bounce right off 500. Brian, that is relatable AF, as the kids say. Talking about trading to people who don't trade or understand trading is exhausting. And you'll be told it's gambling. That's why I always lead with the sports betting, because that's definitely gambling. SPRC, by the way, broke its VWAP. Actually looks like it's going to the bottom end of the sideways range it's been in during the New York session. I'd be careful there with SPRC. We've talked about that one. Likes to pop a little bit and then give it up. We might be at that point where it starts giving it up.
PW, another 65 EMA support happening now. Let's see if it can hold it. I think once we start seeing multiple closes underneath the 65 EMA for PW, that might be the indicator that it's done. Coals, still new highs.
Boeing straight up here today, although I don't see a new entry point for that.
Boeing, huh? Let's see.
I will say, Izzy tweeted me a picture of a turkey. That is the biggest turkey that I've ever seen in my life, Izzy.
So,
I mean, good God. Sorry, go ahead.
Boeing 188, I think that might be the big resistance area. If you look at a 5-minute chart or even a 15-minute chart, whatever smaller time frame you want, if you look at what happened from the 18th to the 20th of this month, you'll see that we got support at 188, lost it the next day, came back and tested as resistance, and then went even lower. Here we are back up testing that 188 as resistance again. I don't know that we're going to break through it on the first attempt, maybe a subsequent attempt after that. There you go. See how does that all look like it makes sense to you, like that 188 level? You gotta have to look a little bit more to the left, but it was a resistance earlier last week, and it was also support last week before we lost it as support. So thinking 188 is going to be an important level for Boeing. PRC.
Interesting trade here in cores. The 18 calls that expired January of 2026, they bought 6,370 calls, spent $1 million. That's ticker CORZ, cores. Let me see if that was part of a spread here. Let me look into that real quick. I don't think so, but this is actually a pretty quick peek. Let's see what we got here. Definitely doesn't look like part of a spread. Option time and sales here. Yeah, definitely not part of a spread. They paid 157. They hit the ask on that. They slapped the ask, if you will, and took just shy of 6,400 contracts for the January 18th. That's cores. That looks to me like a big time bullish bet. One of the bigger ones I've seen off the option chain here today.
Rocket is doing pretty well again today. I don't know that we're going to get to 20, but I wouldn't say it's impossible. It's been having some really nice movement over the past couple of days. Just doing some measurements here to see if I can infer anything from this. Yeah, you'll have to come back next week and see if there's anything. But yeah, anyway, just thought I'd mention that Rocket's still doing well. KSS still making new session highs.
Oh, O'Hare International Airport, the airport here in Chicago, under a ground stop until 10 a.m. due to ice and snow. It actually doesn't even look that bad outside.
Okay, let's see here. CRM is getting mentioned. Just taking a look at that.
Sure.
So there's, I've got this sideways channel here. I'm sure I've had this here for quite a while, but it seems like between 225 to 270, maybe even 230 to 270, a lot of consolidation happens right in this range. We just fell out of that range and we're trying to re-enter it. But if we can't get back into the sideways consolidation, I think that maybe 215 prints are coming.
Yeah, and I think if you give up that 215, you're gonna keep going lower here.
So that's just something I'm seeing here with CRM, and this price action off the high is not looking great. How far have we fallen off these highs from earlier this year? Gosh, almost 39%. So, if this gets rejected and goes lower, I think we're going to start running into some buying opportunities here for CRM. I'm not interested in this right now, but if we do lose that 215, I think taking another look at this is going to be worth our while. If we think about Marvell, and then Easy Gentleman was also mentioning HLF. Herbalife, this is getting some movement here over the past week or so. What's happening here with this? They had earnings on the 5th. They had some insider buying on the 20th. That might be the reason why it's been going. Let's see here. Yeah, the day after the 20th, the 21st, big move. And that news came at night. So I think that's why you got that big move in Herbalife from going from November 20th to 21st. Is at 8:41 it was disclosed that one of the directors, Linda Cloud, bought 17,000 shares of Herbalife.
Kimmy, take care of yourself. You don't have Thanksgiving in Australia, I'm pretty sure, but I'm going to wish you a happy Thanksgiving nonetheless. Have a great Thursday. We will be back here on Friday. Take care of yourself.
Take care, Kimmy. Have a happy Thanksgiving. And yeah, Herbalife, some short interest as well. As a matter of fact, 13.4% of the float share with 9.5 days to cover. So I think those, all those things taken together, and they also got an upgrade today. So all those things taken together is why we're seeing this movement. But I think it really got going with the insider buy, HLF. Now on the technical side, where does this go to?
NVIDIA puts.
This is this is getting kind of extended here on the daily chart, HLF. So and we're coming up to an area of consolidation back from the end of 2022 to the beginning of 2024. So almost a whole year of kind of sideways consolidation. If this manages to get above 14, I think just beneath 16, you're going to see some resistance. And I think you could even see that resistance kick in sooner because of how extended this is right now. So yeah, that's what I think about Herbalife. Nice to see the insider buying, but this is getting really extended and it might start to come back in pretty soon.
Hood back up near the highs there.
Costco moving back up. Let's see here.
Costco's actually at a spot where if it breaks this, maybe it continues this trend back up. This was a double top from Friday, November 21st and Thursday, November 20th. Maybe this 105 area.
Yeah, 910, I'd say is probably the spot. That was where we were getting a whole lot of support. Basically all last quarter. And the 20-day SMA is at 112.50. So I'm thinking, 912.50. I'm thinking 910 is going to be the spot to keep an eye on. If we can't start closing above that in the 20-day SMA, I feel like a rejection is still going to happen, and we can go on to lose the 500-day SMA. So that's what I would. That's kind of the line in the sand for me is 910. Oh, listen to that bird chirp.
Yeah, can you hear him?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sorry. Right. That means we've got too much dead air. That's my fault.
No worries. So Tenzin, you like the 910 area too? Yeah, it's looking like a big resistance area, and I'm not, I don't want to say, oh yeah, it's definitely getting rejected or not. It really is depend on the volume that day, but it looks really like it's going to be a really tough spot.
Johnny, take care of yourself. Have a happy Thanksgiving, boss.
Take care, Johnny. Happy Thanksgiving. He does have birds. I think he has one bird.
Yeah, I did have 3. They were all siblings from the same parents. My mom had 2 birds that had 5 offspring, and I kept 3 of them. This is the last remaining one. And he is something else. I'll tell you what, owning birds, or keeping birds, I guess you should say, has been an experience. They are unbelievably amazing creatures, and I learned quite a bit from this. So bird is hyped for Thanksgiving.
Oh yeah. He's ready. I'm ready. It's just going to be a fantastic day with, you wake up, you start having breakfast, and then guess what?
You pull a cork on the wine bottle.
There's football.
Oh, okay.
There's football. I mean, sure. Well, you can do that. You can certainly pop that cork, but there's football. And then when that game's over, there's more football.
Yeah.
And then you start having Thanksgiving dinner, and then you have more football.
Yeah, Kev, the half day is Friday. You're right about that. The half day is Friday, though. It's not today. Today's a full day, although it's going to feel like a half day because judging by the action here already, it looks like it's slowing down. And actually, this reminds me, let me actually check on the volume numbers here for SPY because I'm looking at the bars compared to yesterday, and it's a ghost town. We've traded 16.68 million. That includes the open plus an hour and 15 minutes into the session. I don't think we hit the average volume of 79 million, barring some type of event.
And here we go with Zscaler. After that brief bounce that I was pointing out, it's looking like it wants to go lower. We are testing the lows of the regular session. Producer, I do not deep fry inside the house. I deep fry outside of the house. I have been deep frying turkeys for over 20 years. Don't do it inside the house if you cherish your dwelling.
If you cherish your dwelling. Did not have that on the bingo card today, but here we are.
Yeah, and a lot of times when you see these people that are deep frying and the pot boils over and it causes a fire, typically they're not letting their turkey thaw enough. That's usually indicative of a frozen turkey that's causing that.
Yep. Here we go. I told one of my coworkers here that we are doing turkey cooking tips on happy hour. I was joking with him. And his response was, always thaw your turkey before frying it. You'd love this. He lives in Austin, Texas.
Oh, then he understands.
He understands. He's well aware.
He knows. All right. Well, Zscaler looking okay. Just put in a new session low.
Abbott. This is one that you talked about yesterday. Ticker ABT today as well. I still like 130 break on Abbott, by the way.
Yeah, and we've got different reasons for liking this one, but we were talking about the weight loss drugs and the angle that I think one of in the happy hour we were talking about that they really liked was the diagnostic edge, because if you're going to be taking these weight loss drugs, you're going to need to monitor your health. But then there's also that nutritional supplement side that they have, and they make drinks like Ensure that are going to likely be used for people that don't have that much of an appetite with their GLP-1s and semaglutides.
So it looks like we got a lot of folks here from Texas. To 13, we need to do a stream from Texas on location. I need to get that together. Okay, and then here, what level do you guys see as a shortable level on Carvana? I'm waiting for a double top at 400. What do your levels say? I think this is next year drop coming with the consumer credit issues on the horizon. Okay, so let me bring the
great thought there. Here. That's a great thought.
Yeah, sure is. Here's what I got for the chart, and probably going to need to do a trend line extension here. Yep. There we go. Okay, so here we go. So you had said that you were waiting for this to hit 400. First of all, I think if it does that, it's probably going to be interacting with trend line. Here's what I'll say. The other times that we've come up and tested that trend line, in fact, in every case, it actually looks like we've overshot the trend line. And in some cases, there looks like there's a little bit of back and forth, but it looks like it's par for the course, if you will, to overshoot this. So I might even amend this a little bit, Greg, and I would say maybe 4 to 410. That would probably be your resistance area. And if this trades up, if we have a high hour, if you have other factors that are kind of leading for, this would be a decent area for this to turn around, giddy up. I think that'd be a little bit better. I would say 400 to 410 by looking at the chart here would be the short entry trigger. What say you, 13?
I don't want to disagree with anything you said about that because I like everything there that you've touched on. There's one thing that I think that we would want to also keep an eye on in case it manages to get past 400. If you can, I don't know how far you can back out, but if you can show us, 2021, there you go. How do you see the trend line? From the
like here?
Yep.
Yeah. So
that's what I think I'd be, looking at as the potentially the highest it might go before you would want to short it. But I don't know that we'll even get up there. It's not a guaranteed thing, but trend line that you have there, where it might run up to in the just above 400 or just beneath 400, that seems like it could be more likely. But I think it's worth keeping a trend line like this very long multi-year one out there, just in case it blows past our expectations.
Saved. There you go. Good stuff. And I'll tell you what, looking at the chart here, if you're able to catch the top on Carvana and this thing rolls over, your short idea trade here looks like that would be incredible. I mean, when this thing moves down from some of these high levels, it does so violently, and it does it by a lot. This is a $400 stock. I mean, makes a lot of sense here. And I like the kind of the fundamental thesis that you have on the back of that. We actually heard from a gentleman, Frank, who was in the show earlier this morning. I don't know if he's still here. This is someone that is connected to the car industry by profession. And one of the things that he was saying yesterday was that car sales are bad right now. Like, this is the time. If you want to buy a car and you can afford it, this is probably the time, because you're probably going to be able to get some type of incentive, whether it be from the dealer in a lower price or a lower interest rate. They're having a tough time moving them. I would imagine that bleeds through to Carvana.
Yeah, he was also saying that some dealerships are selling at employee discount prices.
Not just Ford either, because I know Ford often does that employee discount. A lot of the manufacturers.
Yeah, and lots of people still defaulting on their auto loans too. So it's a tough time for the automotive market. Absolutely. So I think that your idea is a pretty good one, and it's just a matter of, like you were just saying, a matter of where is the buyable top, or the shortable top, I should say, so that we can, play this to the downside. We have some levels in mind. Not sure exactly which one it's going to be, but I think your theory about the consumer being weaker as it relates to cars is a good one. And now we can go back and look at some of these other names and just see a whole bunch of sideways price action. Except look at Zscaler, still going lower now. So we had that brief period where we got that gap fill, tried to recover a little bit, only went as high as it looks like about 257. Looks like 257.06 is the only went as high before it came back down some more. So didn't get a very big bounce. I was looking for maybe 258, but at least it had something happened. Now it's resolving lower.
Hoping my awesome, you like Michelle likes the taco. Hoping my awesome Toyota Tacoma is at a low price when I go in. Yeah, look, if you're going for a new car or truck, I think you're going to be able to work them pretty good. Happy Thanksgiving, ex-sniper. Unfortunately, got stopped out of every trade. I only had one today. It was Google, and the second part of it, I too got stopped out of that. Happens. Not the most voluminous day here today. Oh, you guys are screaming about SMX. I think that was mentioned earlier. I didn't go to it. Sorry, I'm late. Let me pull it up.
This is a very low float. Looks like it's in the authentication theme. But this thing has, it looks like, I'm just guessing here. I haven't looked at it yet, but I'm just guessing that this thing has been reverse split into oblivion. Let's look and see here what the splits are. Oh my God.
Kev, take care of yourself, man. Have a happy Thanksgiving.
So one
gobble,
for 20,
gobble. Let's go.
Happy Thanksgiving. 1 for 22 on in 2023, a 1 for 75 in 2024, and then this year they've done 5. They've done 5 reverse splits this year. A 1 for 28.5, a 1 for 4.1, a 1 for 7, a 1 for 10.9, and a 1 for 8. Yikes!
Yikes is right.
It's very scary. It's in the right theme, but yeah, you have to be very careful with names like this. When they reverse split, there's usually a lot of problems going on with this. It's just, fortunately it's in the right theme, so I really don't know what to say about this one. It can be real scary with how many times it's a reverse split. It's kind of like, well, they're just going to do it again. Yes, that's what I'm saying. That's why I saw that and I was like, oh, how many times did they go through that? And then I saw it and I was like, wow. So they have done a lot of reverse splitting. So if you can day trade this, fantastic. If you're going to hold this, be careful, please.
Yeah, don't hold it.
I don't know why you'd want to. It's just going to do the same thing it's always done. It did it It reverse split 5 times this year.
That's
5 times.
That there's got to be rules against this stuff. I mean,
not this year. There won't be.
Nope. Nope.
At some level, the company will be selling shares into the move. Yes, I agree with that. And then they'll reverse split again. Yep. It might not go to zero. I mean, if they put a cap on reverse splits, then yes, it should. And I believe a lot of these names that keep reverse splitting have to go to zero or get bought out. That should be the way it should work, but it's not.
Someone was asking about Marvell earlier. I'm sorry we didn't get to it. I probably got sidetracked with some story about Thanksgiving because that's just the way it's going. But Marvell here is actually having a pretty nice day, and this has actually had a pretty good bounce. It's not on this chart, but the 200-day SMA basically comes right through here. The current value is 74.25, but this basically bounced off of its 200-day. The interesting note about this is that when we saw some of the semiconductors running, Marvell came up on our scan of semiconductor stocks that hadn't really run yet. And now it looks like it's bouncing here. I got to think that this probably tests 90 here.
So Tenzin, you had one that reverse split a whole bunch, and then finally they just threw in the towel because they had to declare bankruptcy. That can
HMNY. Tenzin, I had it too. I had that stock too. Movie Pass. That was such a fraud. God bless it. I remember that. I had options. I had stock. The whole thing was a fraud. It went to zero. He's absolutely right. I remember that. That wasn't a huge trade for me. It was more of a fraud. That was actually, I think, the first stock that I ever had that went to zero. Now that I'm thinking about it, what a disaster that thing was. Harvey, take care of yourself. Good stuff here. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to you, your family, and your friends. We'll catch you when you come back.
Oh, he nailed.
You actually had the card. Oh God, Tenzin. You were more in deep than I was.
That's terrible. Sorry that went to zero on you. I know what that's like, but man, a lot of times these zombie companies just continue to walk around undead. They can barely pay the interest on their loans. It gets real scary.
Cores, by the way, I'm seeing more people sweep up that same January 18 call. This is much smaller. This was only a $27,000 trade, but remember, we saw $1 million trade in that same strike and expiry earlier this morning.
So Tenzin, now that that's all in the past, are you I like movies a lot, and it seems like you're really into movies as well. Are you still playing movies? Like, do you own and hold Netflix or anything like that? I'm just kind of curious if if you're still into the whole movie watching thing, that how you do it these days. Because for me, I like doing it at home.
You got a theater at home. That's the way
everybody's building their own home theater and just saying, it's not worth going out and having to deal with other people and their BS or these inflated prices of popcorn. So
I like popcorn so much. I have a popcorn machine, like an actual popper, and I use it just tastes so much better. It tastes so much better. It's coconut oil, butter flavored coconut oil.
Wow. Okay. That's a new one.
Awesome. Safer at home for sure. No doubt. Oh, Cam with the jokes here. He goes to Blockbuster. Isn't there only one Blockbuster left in Seattle or something like that?
I think it's in Alaska.
Or is it Alaska?
Chat, help us out. Where is it? Is it Washington or Alaska? I think it's Alaska. But yes, you're right. They have all but closed all of those, and I think you're right that there's only one left.
Hey, Grok, is there any open Blockbusters currently? And if so, where are they?
All right, let's looking around here at some of these names. Looks like Zscaler.
There's just one left. The famous last Blockbuster in Bend, Oregon. It's still renting out movies and pulling in fans. If you're nearby, it's at 613 Nee Bend River Mall Drive.
Okay, I know where Bend, Oregon is.
Bend, Oregon. There we go.
That's well, you were closer than I was. I was a whole country away. Don't like dealing with other people as well.
way.
No, it's not that I don't like dealing with other people. It's just that,
that's my reason.
It seems lately like when you're in a lot of public spaces, there's a lot of people riding high horses. And I'm just kind of over that.
13 likes to ride slow and low.
I'm all about the burro. No, but it's it seems like there's a lot less politeness in society these days, and it's just exhausting.
Indeed.
Right next to the last Radio Shack. I don't know if that's true or not, Joe, but that'd be great. Get off my low horse. Oh man, it's okay if I fall off. It won't hurt.
Not as bad.
Yeah, SYM Symbiotic. This continues to climb. What a great name this is. And I think it's in a good theme too. That warehouse automation has been fantastic.
Oh, did I? Yeah,
take care, Judge.
Okay. Yeah, take care of yourself, Judge. Actually, it's time for story trading. So good stuff. I'm glad that they're available here today. 13, you got any closing words for the group before we check in with Ben and Rhett?
Well, folks, here we are again with another Thanksgiving. I'm thankful for Benzinga. I'm thankful for all y'all being here. I'm ready to have another fantastic holiday season. So take care of every one of you and yours, and have a great holiday. We will be back here on Friday with some pictures and some stories. But until then, folks, happy Thanksgiving. Have a good holiday, and I'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Indeed, 13. I second all of that. I, too, am thankful for the opportunity here, and I would not be able to have this opportunity without you folks, so I am thankful for all of you as well. Really excited to close the year out strong and absolutely make 2026 even better than 2025 was. So enjoy Thanksgiving. Now, before we sign off for the day, let's check in with the story trading, folks. Here comes Ben, Rhett, and the Godfather. Now,
look at Rhett. Rhett's bold.
Babyface Rhett.
Yeah.
Oh,
no more beard. No more beard.
What are you thankful for, Rhett? We'll start with you. Babyface Rhett.
For all of us, the story trading community, Benzinga, everyone around, and for us to just become very successful in the trading space.
That's what we do. Like Godfather, do you celebrate Thanksgiving despite being in Canada?
I will not be officially. Maybe I'll go out and get a turkey leg, something
okay.
like that. But I'm still thankful. It's always good to count our blessings, and I'm thankful for 2026 and the year of the bull.
I am thankful for you for saying that. And also, I'm thankful for the Canadian Thanksgiving, because that idea to play hockey all day starting at like noon is the greatest thing ever. So thank you. That was awesome. We're going to enjoy the American Thanksgiving. Folks, going to talk about bull today?
Whoa, yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll get out of here. Listen.
Yeah. All right. But Matt, speaking of Symbiotic, you guys were just talking about that. This is crazy because I was holding Symbiotic for like 7 months. I got in at like $18 or something on Liberation Day, and I held it in my retirement account until this earnings report. And then I sold it in after hours at $58 because I'm like, it was just a modest beat. They beat by like 2 or 3%. The guidance was like 2 or 3% above analyst estimates. I'm like, I'm up 200%. Let me sell this in after hours at 58. Look at it, 87. Oh my gosh. That's just a little bit of too much over trading in my retirement account. Like, to have the patience of like holding it for 7 months and then like sell it right before that. Anyway, I guess I'm thankful I made good money on it, but wow, what a crazy miss there for me. Anyway, we will absolutely talk about bull because that's my biggest position. And I've been saying since last week that bull is the Robin Hood of 2026. We'll get to that. First, let me look at the macro here on the major indices. We're back above key levels. QQQ above the 20, SPY above the 20, IWM well above the 50, FedWatch tool at like 84% of a rate cut. I got to say, I'm back in green alert, green signal across the board. I went to that this morning. I went to green signal on IWM maybe 2 days ago. I forgot what the catalyst was. Oh, it was the Fed speakers. It was Friday, Williams, and then Monday, another Fed speaker, basically dovishness from the Fed, which is why I went to a cautious green alert. I went to green alert on like a swing, not a day-to-day. But now for today, green alert because I have to. I mean, I'm just following these key moving averages. I got no choice. When we're back above key moving averages, I'm green across the board. And it's a Thanksgiving week, which is really good for the kind of stocks I like to play in, which are small caps and risk assets and retail-oriented stocks and cult stocks and meme stocks, they tend to do well around the holiday season. And I think the reason is, there's speculation on my part, I think the reason is a lot of the institutions that are focused on shorting those type of names, they're on vacation. The shorting pressure is not there, and retail dominates. So I tend to go very heavy in risk asset names on Thanksgiving week. So that's it. That's all I got on the macro, Godfather, except I will say, I really would like to see Bitcoin break above this line to really feel great about things. This descending 200 moving average on the 1 hour. That's a descending trend line. I've noticed that may be an important one. So I'd like to see that get above it. I have no idea if it will. If it does, then if it does it today or by Friday morning, man, Friday in that 4-hour session is going to be absolutely crazy in small caps and risk assets. So I hope that happens. I don't know if it will happen. So that's my macro look, Godfather. Over to you.
Yeah, look, this has all been all about the rates, right? And you're right. When we got the Williams pivot, it was massive, right? Absolutely massive, and it takes a lot to move Fed fund futures like that. And we got confirmation from Williams. And I think the other thing that's even more bullish.
Who's frozen? Is it my internet?
No,
Can you hear me
I
okay?
got all you guys. You guys are all good. I think it's their internet.
Okay, no, I'm good
You're
now.
good, Godfather. You can keep going.
So look, I think that the other thing that's really bullish is Hassett looking like he's going to be announced as the new Fed chair, and if that happens, as people are expecting an announcement in the next couple of weeks, I think that's uber dovish. So look, the market is baked in this 25-point rate cut. Remember too that we get the end of QT starting on December 1st. So that's just another liquidity lever that comes back into this market. You've got all that sort of liquidity that was held up from the government shutdown. That's coming back. It takes some time. So liquidity is a big part of this market. You're right. We're from a technical standpoint, I don't know if we're in all clear. It depends. I think we really need to see confirmation next week when the volume comes back into this market. Do we fade again that 50? So until then, I think it's a stay nimble and trade market. But look, the almanac says every time, almost every time.
Almost
80 years, yeah. And nothing's ever a sure thing. But when we are up before November, and we're down in November, we're up in December. And look, we also know that money flows on average are 2x in the month of December from a structural standpoint versus what we saw. And the setup now, given that big bullish, bearish engulfing candle that we saw on Thursday, and prior to that was sort of 40-50% drawdowns in some of the most speculative theme areas, right? And I think that sets us up well. Margin debt has reset, flows from a call skew basis. All of these kind of things have reset. I will say that we know that the job market is worse than the numbers show. And I think that's positive from a rate trajectory side, and we'll see that carry on into 2026. And of course, we've got all that stimulus coming from the one big beautiful bill beginning of the new year as well. I don't think you can fade that. It becomes a don't fight the Fed, even though the market is really fragile. So, but look, AI is going to impact this job market huge. That concern.
Hey, Godfather, sorry.
Yeah.
Is it possible somehow to lift your head above the chyron there? I can't see you.
I can't move my camera back, so
right.
I see that now. Yeah,
All
sorry about that. But look, the other thing that I think is kind of a no-brainer here is there needs to be some reversion again on this. Google outperformance, the TPU GPU debates has gotten out of hand.
You see that chart I shared on the morning note this morning?
Remind me exactly which one.
Here, it's crazy chart here. I'm going to share it here. This one here, right here.
But look, the bottom line is TPUs might take around 10% of NVIDIA's share in 2028.
Here we go. Google Complex. This is brilliant the way they did it, right? They're like, here's OpenAI versus Google, and they group the stocks that are the OpenAI camp, and they group the Google stocks. Crazy move just in the past couple of weeks. Really,
you can see it just in the data center names, right? You got Cipher up 6% today. You got Iron up, not even 0.5%. Cipher's got deals with
exactly
with Google, so the halo is still there, but I see that moderating here. And a great way to play that, by the way, is
That's why I went long Microsoft.
yeah,
I thought it was overdone. And
this is
Microsoft
why
looks
I've
pretty
been
good day.
effectively long Soxel, because Google is
Yeah.
not in Soxel.
Oh, they're
and you get a
not.
benefit of
Wow.
a rebound back in Nvidia and
Interesting.
AMD, and of course you get Broadcom exposure.
Yeah.
So there's really nothing working against you there. So I think that that's kind of a no-brainer play at the moment. That's where I've been focusing most of my time, just because I'm still a little bit nervous. I don't think we're completely out of the woods yet. I really want to see how the market reacts when the volume players come back.
Well, another positive sign is look at these earnings reactions. We just went through a period of about, I don't know, 1 or 2 months, maybe 1 month, where it didn't matter how good the news was. In most cases, I caught a couple exceptions, as you know, Kodak being one of them. But for the most part, no matter how good an earnings report was, you would sell off hard. And that actually made me hesitate. And that's one of the reasons I sold Symbiotic after that, because I was just conditioned after 1 month of earnings sell-offs. And now look what happened. I guess, the charts have come down so much that even with modest beats, now ANF had a great report, but even with modest beats, look at these reactions in these reports. All of them: Symbiotic, ODD, Dix, ANF, CLSK this morning, Dell. That's another sign that all of a sudden, instead of seeing negative reactions to good reports, you're seeing explosive reactions to just modestly good reports.
It's a sign of healthy positioning. And look, these things are skewed on the retail side because consumer names have been left for dead. They really haven't participated this year. So a lot of these names bounced hard. I'm actually surprised by the strength. We hear all this anecdotal evidence about how lousy things are in the job market, wages, consumer spending, consumer debt, all the rest of it. And yet these retail names are flying. Why? Because the valuations are not demanding. And
that and interest rates.
This actually goes to one of the things I wanted to talk about, because look, I think that this market is looking for reasons to rotate in 2026. There's some fragility. We've concentrated even in the mag, in this AI trade now to the winners and losers, among the hyperscalers. But the market's looking for a reason to broaden out. And we've seen a lot of policy tailwinds from the Trump administration in defense. We've seen it in power on the nuclear side. We've seen it on rare earths. All of these kinds of things. What's the thing that touches more people than anything else? It's housing, and the only way they can impact that is rates. And they're going to do two things. Obviously, Hassett, if he gets in, it's looking that way, is going to be very positive in terms of the trajectory and the pace of rate cutting. But again, remember the government controls. These big government-sponsored agencies that can impact housing, and they know the only way they can do it really is on the financing side of things. So they can mandate Ginnie Mae, to increase or lower the cost of insurance on mortgages. They can mandate Fannie and Freddie to take mortgage-backed securities onto their balance sheet. They can, the Fed can do that, and with Hassett there, they might do that. And I point this out because housing, look at the NAIL ETF, look at Rocket. I know we've lagged on LDI, but that'll
had
be
a good day yesterday, random good day, and back down today.
I can't quite wrap my mind around why this is down 5% and the rest of the group is.
I've been looking at LDI all day, thinking, do I want to take a trade on it today?
So my point is that this group can move just like we've seen these retailers 20-30% in a day. And I expect we're going to see some policy levers.
Are you in LDI now?
I am not, because I'm.
Why not? You're talking about it now. Why don't we take some call options a few weeks out, or January or something?
Yeah, my tendency here is to want to do two things. One, buy what's considered the market leader, and that's Rocket.
Oh, let's go to Rocket here.
Get some NAIL exposure, which is of course the three.
Rocket's had a good few days. Yeah, look at that.
Well, they all have. Look at NAIL.
I know.
And this is, of course, the rate cut being completely baked into it. But I'm just thinking about as we go, further into 2026. In the meantime, we are going to have fun, as we always do, I think, this year in December, with retail money flowing back into a lot of these theme names. So
It's a great time. Like I just love literally from today. Thanksgiving Eve day until the end of the year is usually pretty easy for me. Like, well, I remember at a couple occasions we had some like I remember one year we had a big flash crash in December, like major, and but it bounced back like a couple days later. I forgot. I don't know if you remember what year that was. And then there was another year where Black Friday was like down huge, like very rare, but that's like a once every 10-year thing. Usually, this time period is just really fun and easy to trade seasonally.
Yeah, so I think this thing, the market roars. I'm watching the 685 level on SPY, and we're getting close to that today. I think that will, do a lot for this this sort of show me mode. Small cap names, you're seeing it on the IWM, which of course is regional bank focused. You're seeing it less on the actual smaller names. I think the market's still being quite finicky there. So at this point, I'm turning into more like Rhett. I want to play the indices and make sure we got confirmation of the direction before I go back into.
All right. I mean, I'm a little ahead of you, I think.
Yeah, I think you are.
In terms of confidence. I just have I mean, you're over the moving averages and seasonality. I'm just feeling it. IWM crazy. I bought 100 of these 245 calls expiring today. I bought them at 50 cents yesterday, but then I sold them throughout the day yesterday. I held 20 contracts overnight, and then I sold them this morning. If I just held the whole way, I would have turned like $5,000 into $20,000 on these IWM calls expiring today because I've been pretty bullish with the commentary. Look at AEO. Sorry, I'm jumping around, but I wanted to play AEO before earnings next week, but freaking Abercrombie had to come in and Dick's and all their peers had really great reports and it's just exploding. They're going to have a great report next week. Look at this thing. I'm not in it yet. Anyway, sorry.
Urban Outfitters as well.
What's that?
Urban Outfitters, obviously.
Oh, right. Urban. That was this morning or last night, I think. Last night, right? Urban up 11%. Yeah. So the whole sector just doing really well. I mean, where is that weak consumer? All these like discretionary apparel companies doing great.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
It makes me want to trade these, but not necessarily want to be long.
So man, AEO conference call last quarter was just spectacular. Do you remember that? Were you on it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they crushed it, and that report had nothing to do yet with the impact of Sydney Sweeney and Travis Kelce. Nothing to do with it. Like they're gonna now have the positive impact on that on top of all their operational efficiencies. Like honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this stock maybe it can be 25 plus after the earnings report next week. I have to see about getting a position. By the way, as we're speaking right now, this is the key level I was looking at. Bitcoin. It's I don't know, Rhett. You're better with the technicals here. You can see all of these wicks, you call them, on this 1 hour line.
Yeah, let me check this out.
I mean, because if this goes, first of all, BMNR and Galaxy could really explode. I've been accumulating Galaxy call options. I'm not in BMNR, but this is just I'm just like praying for Bitcoin to break out, because if Bitcoin breaks out, then Friday and the rest of this afternoon is going to be crazy in retail favorite names. By the way, why is GDXU up 10%? Is gold exploding? Just got an alert on GDXU up 10%. Wow.
Well, let me go on mute.
I mean, things are really freaking flying right now. Look at BMNR spiking here on this attempt of Bitcoin to break out of this downtrend line. Anyway,
we're right at that breakout level. I mean, if we get above it here, I mean, that's going to be great on this next.
So what do I do? I mean, do we wait for confirmation? Where is confirmation? Because BMNR, man, I'm looking at this chart. BMNR can be at $36 by Friday if this breaks out. $36 by Friday, and the weekly call options, like they can 6x some of these or more. Some of these can 6 or 10x if we get to 36 by Friday, and that could easily happen because you have a full day Thursday where the market's closed, so you could wake up to massive gap ups on these crypto names if Bitcoin breaks out over Thanksgiving. So it's compelling to think about. I don't know. I might have to take a lotto on one of these here for Friday. But anyway, any further thoughts on the macro? Or should we get into some stocks?
No, let's talk some stocks.
All right.
I think everybody knows that.
Yeah.
What's going on in the macro. There's
Today's stock
takes
day.
on both sides, but
All
really,
right.
it's about the Fed.
Here we go. Bull is my highest conviction position right now ever since the earnings report last Thursday night. I've been holding Robinhood for most of the year in my retirement account. I sold all my Robinhood Friday morning, rotated it all into Webull. I got a 28% position in my trade account in Webull, which is paying off this morning. Look, I love the Webull product. You're looking at the Webull desktop product right now. Quick little story. I used to do my show using the TD Ameritrade app, TD app, and then Schwab bought it, shut it down, and I was going freaking crazy. I was panicking. I'm like, how the heck am I going to do a show? Because all the apps sucked, and I tried like every single app in the App Store for just great user experience and all the features I wanted in order to do my show, and I landed on Webull. And I got to tell you, just my opinion, but I think Webull is not even playing in the same league as Robinhood. I think their interface, their user experience, their tools, their everything is just like 10 times better than Robinhood. So I've been waiting. I've held Webull a very small amount, maybe since a couple months ago in my retirement account, just waiting for the inflection point. And that Thursday evening report, in my opinion, was the inflection point. The same inflection points I called on Robinhood below 10, Palantir below 10, Carvana below 10, SoFi below 10. I called all of those inflection points live on my morning show. Sadly, in almost pretty much all those cases, I sold them 2 weeks later after like a 15-20% pop. If I held them, I would have made like 1,000% or something. But that I'm getting the same feeling, in terms of the fundamental inflection and the sentiment inflection on Webull. I think this is the year of the bull. I think bull will outperform Robinhood in 2026. I think it is the inflection point for the stock I've been waiting for. That's why I also tripled my position. Actually, at this point, forget about tripled. I 10x'd my position in my retirement account. I 10x'd my position in my retirement account on Webull because I've been accumulating here over the last several days. And I've been calling for the 20 DMA test this week. There we go. We got it. I've been saying there's a possibility we break the 20 DMA and maybe 10 to 1150 by Friday, possible. But I don't know. That's a big jump. Like, who knows? But that's a key level, the 20 DMA. If we close above the 20 DMA at 927, then we can have big further moves here in the next few trading days. So that's my pitch on Webull for you. Godfather, did you finally get into this name? I know that you're endorsing it along with me here, but you were waiting at the time.
I'm waiting. I'm still waiting. I know. I know. To my detriment so far. Yeah, obviously, missed this overnight move. That's retaining strength in the stock. I will be taking a position. I was waiting for some confirmation of the end of the season. We're seeing that today, so I probably will be long by the end of today. I think it is worth noting that there is that 2x leveraged share as well.
I just found it this morning. I was like, what? BULG.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of it either. And look, from a fundamental standpoint, it's worth mentioning that this is the only online broker that's down year to date. And when we last looked at this thing, around the time of the IPO, and it was trading in the 20s, it was massively overvalued relative to the peers. And now, just to get to the average of the peers, this thing should be at $14. Okay, never mind. If it gets anywhere close to a hood multiple, this thing is $30 plus. I think we've already seen some early signs that this can be a real retail darling. People are familiar.
Which multiple are you looking at to say $30 plus? Because when I'm
looking at the hood multiple, which is 20 times next year's sales, and I put that on.
The sales, because I was looking at. I think I was looking at EBITDA, which puts
I
don't
think profitability metrics are the right thing to look at for Bull at the stage of its growth, because while they are cash flow positive, they're investing everything necessary to build out the business. And I think this is the key part of what makes this story so interesting here. Not only are we seeing traditional marketing spend go down, but they're actually adding customers primarily through cross-sell. because the new capabilities they keep adding to this platform, as well as the new geographies, right? They're in 13, 14 geographies right now. They're continuing to extend that throughout Europe and South America. They've been adding or deepening. They re-added crypto back to the platform now that the administration was friendly for them to do that back in the U.S. The prediction markets, bonds, all of the services that Hood offers, they are offering, like you said, on a better platform. So that's coming at less customer acquisition cost than traditional marketing spend. So you're seeing the profitability metrics start to go up in the same way you're seeing the sales metrics go up. Look, the sales growth estimated just next year over this year is 45%. Compare that to 19% for Hood. So you've got twice the sales growth and 1/4 of the multiple. I'm sorry, but
love it.
That just doesn't persist in the market.
There you go. Year of the bull. Yeah. Are you going to be around? We're going to try to do a special live stream at 12:30 on just Webull. So you're welcome to join us on that and give us your take on the fundamentals. Yeah. So very cool. Wow. Look at Microsoft go. Beautiful.
I got to say, for a fundamental guy that looks at that as the primary filter, it's still hard to find fundamentally compelling ideas in this market. And this is in the right category, right? The prediction markets are growing at 100% on a monthly basis. They talked about November.
Did he mention the sports betting? That's what
I'm talking about. Sports prediction markets, right?
Yeah.
They saw 50% sequential growth in the quarter they reported. And on the analyst call, they were, analysts were saying, okay, you had this blockbuster October. What does November look like? And they said, looks like we're going to come in 100% above.
Yeah, 100%. I was like, what? I was like, it was crazy. After that report, I was buying all the shares I could. I couldn't understand why the stock wasn't going up. My thesis was that maybe it's tax loss selling for a few days. I'm sure that's had an impact, but that report was crazy. That earnings
metrics that you really want to see here are user growth, registered user growth, and customer deposits. And these are the two metrics that are expanding the most at this company. And of course, you got the right demographics as well, right? This is where Gen Z is moving to.
Let me throw the one bear thesis that I give some credence. Most of the bear theses, by the way, I was looking over the weekend, it was all about technicals. Like, it's down here below the 20-day MA. I'm not going to look at it until it breaks over the 20-day MA. All right, at story trading, we predict those breaks based on the catalyst. So that I wasn't concerned about. But the one thing that I give a little credence to is, this is a Chinese company, and I checked with AI to be like, and I understand Chinese companies have discounts, and the average discount's pretty actually big on Chinese companies simply because of geopolitical risk and, VIE structures and all that kind of stuff. So how do you, and as you know, since you've joined our community, I usually don't trade Chinese stocks and I usually avoid them for that reason. I'm making a huge exception for this one because I use the product and I love the product. But how do you think of that in terms of valuation and everything that you just compared with Robinhood? Do you think it's fair to apply some sort of discount to that?
Maybe, but I would say that's currently in stock with the existing discount. And I think as they expand in jurisdictions, you're seeing, democratization in terms of access to the U.S. market through this app globally. So I don't think that the Europeans and the South Americans that are using this app that, are getting access now.
They're much more global than Robinhood. Is Robinhood only in the States or where are they? Do you know?
I don't know exactly what Robinhood's reach is geographically.
They're in the European market.
They are in the European market?
I'm pretty sure they are. That's what I remember.
But I think Webull's in many more countries than Robinhood from what I was gleaning over the weekend.
Yeah, that's my understanding as well. So I think that that's less of an issue. And, it becomes an issue in the stock when they're restricted in operating in the U.S. and that's not happening. In fact, the opposite's happening, right? The U.S. basically allowed them to add back the crypto platform to their app and reintegrate it. So no, I'm not that concerned about it.
So it's actually in a big list area for Robinhood as well.
Oh, Robinhood's where?
Australia, Belgium, Bulgaria, Croatia, Cyprus, the Czech Republic, Denmark.
I'm pretty sure in my research I was doing over the weekend that for whatever reason, Webull's in many more countries, but very interesting. Okay. So, that takes us almost to the end of the show. 3 minutes left. What else? Yeah, we talked a lot about Bolsa. Is there any particular stock you want to mention, Godfather, in these 2-3 minutes here?
I will say, and you pointed this out, that there are a number of these theme names that can move heavily, that have come way off of their highs and are at key technical levels. One of the names I really like fundamentally, it's in the right sector. It's LiDAR, it's robots, it's the eyes and ears of physical AI, and that's OUST. It's tight share structure. Take a look at the chart. Just see where it is. The 200-day was at, I think, 1995.
Yeah, a lot of charts look just like this off the 200-day.
Yeah, there's a lot of them like that. I think you mentioned Rocket Lab.
Yep. Galaxy, Rocket Lab.
Yeah, I think all of these names, assuming they can stay technically above these levels, have the opportunity. This is a name that's come down from 10 times EV to sales to 5. And their revenue growth this year is going to be close to 100%, and they've inflected to profitability. So I really like names like this. I don't expect we're going to add a lot of new names, but it's revisiting some of these names that we've liked before,
right?
That are now technically at levels where they're providing great entries again. And that's I think the most efficient way to focus on this market.
Yeah.
And you will see a bid come back into these names for certain.
Yeah, sounds good. Rhett, you got any final words?
No, I mean, just everyone that's out there, enjoy time with your families and friends this Thanksgiving, and don't eat too much turkey.
Whoa, look at Dell rocketing towards our target range. Look at Dell. I kept some call options there, so maybe that'll pay off. We'll see. Cool. Ryan, how you doing?
I'm doing really good. I don't think I've told you guys, Thanksgiving is like my favorite day of the year. So I'm like on cloud 9 right now. I absolutely love this. I totally support everything Rhett just said about enjoy Thanksgiving with your family and all of that. Just get me to Thursday, guys. Get me to Thursday.
It is actually my favorite day as well.
I am interested in bull. I personally don't own that. I think I am probably going to pick some of that up. The stuff about China definitely worries me, but my co-host 13 uses the product and loves it very much. Like you, Ben, says that it's a great product.
I switched over from Robinhood to Evil.
Yeah, there you go. And I wonder how many more people are going to do the same thing. Godfather, excuse me, OUST, O-U-S-T, great call there. We had actually been trading that one from like low teens initially when it made its move to 40. I know it's come back down from that, but right above the 200. Love that too. So really good stuff here, guys. You guys did a great job, as you always do. Enjoy Thanksgiving. Have a great one with your family. And
thank you. You too.
Take care, everyone.
Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.
Is the story trading, folks. Awesome stuff from them, as always. Folks, we're done here today. Thanksgiving Eve is almost up. Thanksgiving's almost here. Have a great rest of your Wednesday. Enjoy the holiday with your friends and family. Yes, we will be back for a show on Friday. We'll close the week out strong. Stay green, stay safe, stay focused. Go Bears.